What's up, everybody? This is Podcast Gameoverse, episode 157, Saturday, September 23rd, 2023. I am Wasabi Ice Cream, joined as always by Rick. What's up?
Yeah, what's up, everybody? I'm Rick. I'm excited to talk about some video games. A lot of stuff has happened the last 2 weeks. Oh my god, a lot of stuff has happened the last 2 weeks. It's gonna be a long show. So you guys buckle up. It's gonna be a good time. But let's start where you always start, man. Tell the people what you've been playing.
I'm playing a little bit of Iconoclasts on my Steam Deck. Iconoclast. It came out a few years ago. It's not new at all. Been out for quite some time. And I played it before just a little bit, but I never finished it. And I was like, you know, let me go back and finish this game. It's what some people may refer to as a Metroidvania.
Ooh, I like Metroidvanias.
Yeah. And this one's less focused on combat. Like there's a little bit of combat, but it's more puzzly. It's more of like a puzzly Metroidvania. And a lot of the upgrades that you get for your you get like a melee weapon. It's like a wrench, and you get a little like stun gun, and you get upgrades for those that are less about combat situations and more about puzzle solving. Even though there is combat, it's more like a puzzly combat, and it's really cool. It's really cool. The idea of the Metroidvania thing. It's a really good twist on the whole Metroidvania idea. And it's really fun. So
I'm into that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I would
I've heard
check it
about
out.
it. It looked good. Heard a lot about it a lot, and it looked really cool from the previous stuff I've seen before.
Yeah. It's more of it reminds me of like a JRPG. If they mixed JRPG with Metroidvania, it would be this, because you get party members, and your party would be able to help you out. I mean, it's all like story based. Like you're never going in and like selecting, okay, I want to take you. But during certain moments in the story, you'll have people with you, and they can help you during like boss fights and shit. And they're AI controlled, usually, most of the time. So you'll be like doing a boss fight, and then your AI companion would be like, "Hey, dude, do this, make him flip," and then you make him flip, and then your AI will do an attack, and that's how you like do damage. It's really cool. And then sometimes you have direct control over some AI companions that's not the main characters, and your whole moveset changes, and it's really cool when that happens.
That's cool.
Doesn't happen often, but again, it's like part of the story. You'll like switch to another character, and you're like, oh shit, this one has a shotgun, and it can do it's like a stealth character, or yeah. So it's really cool. Check it out on Steam. It's I think it's on everything. So PlayStation, whatever. And yeah, it's really cool. I'm enjoying it.
So I'll check it out. And next you were playing the first Descendant. You're playing the beta on that. How is that?
Yeah. The first Descendant is what you get when you mix Destiny with Genshin Impact.
Okay.
So it's a third-person shooter version of Destiny, and there's characters in it that you have to unlock, like it's a gacha game.
Okay. That's annoying. But I'm not totally turned off of it so far.
Yeah, it's free to play, so there's that. However, I would say the gameplay itself it's not bad at all. Like the shooting aspect of it is pretty good. You know, I mean, if you're gonna copy anything from Destiny, the shooting is like the main thing. And it's pretty blatant with its like Destiny ripoffs, because it even takes, you've never played Destiny, right?
I played the first Destiny.
Oh, okay. So like Destiny had, they had the enemies that had like the shields. It was a cabal. Like some of them had shields, and you would shoot them like in the middle of the shield, and they would like drop their shield and kind of like stun for a bit. This game is so blatant; it takes that exactly. Like a lot of shit that Destiny
Oh yeah.
does, this game does like verbatim. You have your like even the weapon types. You can carry 3 weapons. Though I don't think it limits you to the type of weapons that you can hold. So if you wanted to carry like 3 heavy weapons, I think you could just do that. Or if you wanted to carry like 3 snipers, you could do that. You might be able to do that in Destiny, but I don't remember.
All right. All right.
And
So it sounds like it's not original, at least not too original in its mechanics, but is it like fun at least?
it's no.
No?
Yes, in that yeah, like I said, like the shooting is good. So when you're like doing the shooting, it's fun. The problem is it's if you ever played Destiny, if you remember, scattered around the worlds in Destiny is like you can run up and like take missions from like these like I forget what the fuck they're called, but you can take like random missions when you're out in the war. You're just running around Earth, and there'll be like a flashing thing. You just run up to it and take a mission from it. That is this game entirely. Is like the most unfun part of Destiny is those fucking like little side missions. Is this game's entirety. So
Oh no.
you go down on the map, and like the layout is like the same as like a Destiny map. You like go down on the map, and you can run around freely, and it's like different sections. It's all sectioned off, and each section has like they'll have like 3 or 4 or 5 of those types of missions, and you do those, and it's all the same fucking shit, and it's the same shit that you did in Destiny too. So it's like, hey, stand inside this circle and defend it while these enemy waves come at you, or pick up this item and take it over to this location so you can blow up the terminal or whatever. Or it's just like the same fucking mindless bullshit, and you have to do them because that is the game. And a lot of times it seems like it's not balanced for single player because it takes so fucking long to just do one of these, and a lot of them are do this while enemies are attacking. It's like they're set up for 2 players at least, because like one player can do the objective while the other player is like killing all the enemies. Um, but it's like not balanced for one player because one player has to do both things, like defend this and go over here and do this other thing while enemies are fucking with you. And yeah, it's not fun. And then after you do like 6 or 7 or 8 of those, like a story mission unlocks, and then you can do the story mission, and the story mission is again the exact same as Destiny. If you remember in Destiny, when you're doing
Yeah.
like you do like a story mission which takes place in the normal areas,
Mhm.
uh you eventually, like in Destiny, you like walk down a path that leads you into like a story area, and then once you're in that story area, it locks you in. It does like, hey, the darkness is consuming you, and then it's like it respawns, but then you have respawns,
Yeah.
or like you have like a limited amount of like times you can die before you have to like reset. This game does that. It does the I don't know what the fuck, I don't know what they call it in this game, but it's like the same
Yeah.
thing where it's like, hey, you have limited respawns now. It's a story mission. Uh, it's like that. It's like that. It's Destiny. It's Destiny exact. It's like a third person
That's
shooter Destiny.
okay. That's kind of lame. Um,
So so then on top of that, they have this gotcha shit. So on the screen right now, I'm showing some gameplay, and I unlocked this character Bunny. Now Bunny is I've had you. They start you out with a selection of 3 characters in the beta. They start you out with a selection of 3 characters. The first character I selected, if you've ever played a gotcha game, you know that all the characters level individually. So my first character was like an ice. She was like an ice lady. They all have elements, though I didn't see the elemental shit come into play during the beta. But again, if you ever played Genshin, everyone has an element, and sometimes you require certain elements to do certain things in certain locations, right? So I imagine that that's where this game's gonna go, but I didn't see that during the beta. But my first character was I think I got her to like level 12 or 13 before I got a second character. And when you level up, when your character levels up in this game, their stats increase as well. So they'll get more HP, they'll get more defense, they'll do more damage, whatever. So when I got the second character, they come in at level 1, and the enemies don't the enemies don't adjust for that. So
that's obnoxious. That's obnoxious.
Typically how these games work is that they give you an item that you can use to just level up give characters experience, because they know that you're going to be getting new characters, and they're going to come in at level 1, and you have to build them. You know, that's how they monetize the fucking game. Is you buy the characters, then you buy the upgrade materials for those characters, and then upgrade materials for your weapons, for your armor, whatever. The beta is not showing its full power level, I feel like, because there was no way to buy anything. They didn't show any of the cash shop shit. This is a Nexon game, and Nexon is fucking notorious for just the most shittiest monetization practices. So they didn't show any of it in the beta though. So I'm fully, because the whole time I was like, hey, I have this character at level 2. She's weak as shit. There's got to be an item that I can use to level her up, because she's fucking useless. And there wasn't anything that I had at this point. Maybe there was something that they would give me later, but they literally give you this character. I mean, you don't have to. The thing is, you don't have to use them. You know, you could just use your high level character, but they give you this character, and they kind of encourage you to switch to them, but they don't give you anything to make them stronger. So that was one of the things. But they'll have abilities it's like I keep saying, it's like Genshin. It's like Genshin Impact, but mixed with Destiny. So that is the best way to describe this. It's like, not like, just shooting is good, but the game is extremely repetitive, and that's the bad part, is because you have to do all this repetitive bullshit to progress. Like, there is a story. It's not very interesting, but there is one. And yeah, I guess there's another interesting thing in this game where you get these modules. It almost reminds me of Warframe, where you get modules on your character, and your guns have modules, and you can slot in upgrades into them, and you can level up the upgrades, and they'll change pretty heavily your stats or your abilities or whatever. You can slot in these upgrades, and each module has different like power usages. So like, if you put in like a really, really good module, that thing will like use like 20 power, and you might only have like 36 available. So you kind of have to like mix and match, like, okay, I'm not going to use my most powerful ones, because then if I put this one, I'll have better damage, and I'll have better whatever. I can put more on, but it'll be less powerful, or shit like that. That was one of the cooler systems in this game, and I was like, okay, this could be interesting if you give it more time to flesh itself out. So yeah,
So I think it has potential, but with the publisher being who it is, do you think it's gonna reach that potential? Or
I mean, yeah, Nexon make popular games. It's not like they don't know how to make a game, because they do. My problem is, and maybe it's just the beta, but it was just extremely repetitive. Like, it was fun to play. Like the shooting's good. It's graphically great. Like it supports all the latest fucking graphics features, DLSS, whatever. Like it has all that stuff. It's a good looking game. It plays well. It's just the mission structure is dog shit. It's super repetitive and boring to just do these repetitive ass fucking missions over and over again. That's the only like real issue I had. I played for like maybe like 6 or 7 hours. There's a decent amount of footage of it on the YouTube channel, so if you want to watch it and check it out for yourself or play it for yourself, I think it's open beta and it's cross platform with all the consoles and PC. So, and you don't have to make any accounts to either. You can just fucking, which is the best part. I feel like when most games do this cross-platform shit, you have to like make a Capcom account or make a Konami account or do all this other bullshit. This doesn't do any of that. You can just log right the fuck in. And
that's cool.
Yeah.
So you just use like your existing, like your Steam account or whatever, and that works the game. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. I wonder how they make that work, because like the whole point of having their account is that's what all the different systems are unified under.
Yeah.
So I wonder how they make it work without that. Or maybe it's just they don't even need to like, or maybe you've never actually needed to have a third-party account, and developers just been like gaslighting us the last like decade.
Yeah, they do it to get your foot in the door on their ecosystem, so they can market to you. Yeah,
exactly.
But it's worth checking out because it's not a terrible game. It's actually pretty good. There's some neat ideas, but I think the monetization could be bad, and I think the mission structure is definitely bad. So, but it's free to play. It's free to play, and I don't know. You can check it out in beta right now, which is also free. So, yeah.
Yeah. Now, is the game is going to be free to play. The beta was, but the game itself is scheduled to be free to play too. That's not just the beta.
Yeah. It'll be free. If it's not free, they fucking up. They will fuck up if his game is not free. Because it's Genshin Impact. Imagine Genshin Impact, but you had to buy it and the characters and like all the with all the monetization it has on top of you having to buy the fucking game. I mean, that'd be insane.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I'm glad you're having fun with it. I'll check it out when it comes out, or I might just play the beta. If it's not gonna cost me anything with my time, just give it a shot.
Yeah.
Now, the last game, which I haven't, I'll be honest, I haven't played like all week. It's been so busy. I actually have to sit down and play it. But I got some decent time into it, but not as much as you, obviously. But you got some final thoughts on Starfield. Like, tell us about that.
Yeah, I just wanted to. I've solidified my thoughts on Starfield, and it took me a while. Because it is a game that you've probably heard. It gets better the more you play. You know, it's like one of those games. But I think the thing that people don't say is it also gets worse the more you play. Because like playing more, you get to see more of the good fun shit that this game does, but you also get to see more of the fucking dog shit. It's like it doesn't okay. So every time I ran into something that was like, oh holy shit, that's awesome, the other side of that has always been, this is fucking bullshit. Like the payoff is always like a fucking like up and then down, where it's like, oh yeah, look, I can't believe it, this is awesome, and then when I see the other side of it, I take it to the fucking conclusion, take it all the way, and it just never fucking pays off. And that has been this game over and over and over again, where you play long enough, you get to see, oh yeah, this is pretty good, this is pretty fun, this is pretty cool. And then you keep playing it long enough to see the other side of that cool shit. And the other side of it is fucking dog shit. It's dog shit. This is a bad game. It's a bad game.
I know exactly what you mean. Like, the game does so much cool stuff. It does a lot of stuff really well. It handles that exploration, this large world, I think, very well. But there's so many stupid little eccentricities in the game that are just annoying. Like, there are so many
Yeah.
load screens in it, for example. The menu is dog shit to navigate. And like we were talking about last week, the little things that like Bethesda has perfected in their last games are still a fucking annoying issue in this game.
Yeah.
Like I got into crafting and stuff. Like I'm putting so much time into like crafting, for example, because I want to like start upgrading my guns. But it takes so fucking long to like get into that and get
Yeah.
the experience to get into it. And then when you do get into it, it's like a very subpar system because it doesn't save the mods you already had. So you can't take a mod off a weapon and put on another one. It's
Yeah.
just really annoying. It just does
I'm
so
not
much
even
annoying, stupid shit. Like,
I'm not even talking about like I'm not even talking about specific shit. It's more of like
it's not. It's just everything combined. It's
yeah.
so annoying. That's one thing in like
Or
the
I'm
100 things.
more talking about like the quests and characters, just like the overall experience. Like I think it was like like last week or a week two ago. I said like the companions are fucking shitty, and
Yeah,
I found like in Neon I found a chick who was like an ex like gang member or whatever, and I was like I found out you can actually have them as followers. I found out you can have them. What I had to do, I had to put her on my ship, and then I can talk to her, and then say, "Hey, follow me," and then she was a follower. And then you talk to her, you get her backstory, and she's like, "Yeah, you know, I really want to fucking, my dream is to go to Earth's moon. I really want to check out Earth's moon." And I was like, "Bet, all right, bet. I'll remember that for when I'm in that region again. We'll take you there."
yeah.
And then fucking, I took her over there, and zero reaction, zero reaction. I'm like, dude, your thing you told me is you fucking your dream, the place you want to go to the most ever is Earth's moon. I take you there, you have nothing to say about it. You have nothing to say. And I was like, dude, fuck this game, man. It was like so that, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, it's cool that the character existed, and I was like excited to actually start showing her around because she'd never left Neon. So I was like, oh, she's gonna have so much to say about if I have her traveling with me. She's gonna have so much to say about all the stuff that she's gonna be seeing. She's never left Neon, and I take her everywhere, anywhere. And another one was like New Atlantis. She was like, I really want to see New Atlantis. I really want to see Earth's moon. You take her there, and she has nothing to say, not a single fucking thing. I was like, this is bull fucking shit, man. And it's like that. It's like shit like that over and over, where I get excited about what can possibly happen, and then what actually happens is not a fucking thing, not a thing. And like
Yeah.
all of the quest lines are like that. Like all of the quests are fucking like that, where it's like, oh holy shit, I can't wait to see this to the end because this is great. And then you see it to the end, and it just fucking falls so flat. It just falls so flat, and it's so deflating. And I'm like, this is bullshit. This is the worst game ever.
And that's what I mean. Like it does, and it's not one thing. It's like all these little things together that make the game fall flat. Like overall, I think it's a decent game. Like it's got this scope that I haven't seen in any of their games before, and it lets you do so much stuff. Like the stronghold building is like a whole other thing that like I looked into. You can get like crazy with it. You can generate income from it, like a lot of income from it. And that's something I haven't even like scratched the surface of in this game. But it does so many annoying little things that it holds the game back from being something like really incredible. Like
Yeah,
it's really obnoxious. Like I see what you meant that it's hard to recommend because it gets so many fundamental things just wrong that you sit here and you think like, why the fuck am I playing this game? And then the cool shit happens and you're like, this is why I'm playing the game. But a lot of times that cool shit isn't going to be enough to like, you know, convince people to forgive some of the more glaring, obvious issues
Yeah.
on like a technical level. Like, I don't want to pivot off of it, but I started up Cyberpunk again because of the new update. Like CD Projekt Red recommended, like, hey, if you're gonna start if you're gonna start the game up, it's got a whole new progression system. Do yourself a favor, start the game over. And the first like hour of Cyberpunk does such a better job, like setting up the
Oh yeah.
world, establishing characters, than what Starfield does. Like, Starfield takes for fucking ever to get going.
Yeah, I loaded up Cyberpunk too, and man, the opening is just so much. It's just so much. It's just like dripping in everything that Starfield is not.
Yeah.
In
Like
terms
I
of
started exactly like it does such a good job building the world up and setting the stage for what to expect in the world of Cyberpunk. And Starfield does none of that.
yeah,
Like there's a lot of things it could have done to like get you excited for it, and it's a huge bummer going back to it. I almost have to like convince myself to play it because I know like what's ahead there. And I do have fun with it once the ball gets rolling, but there's so many little annoying things to deal with it. It's hard to recommend. I can see why it's one of the best 7 out of 10s I've ever played.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
Like
thing. Like,
it's so weird. Like I argue it's like a 6, 7 out of 10. Like I'm being nice saying 7. It's probably closer to 6 or 5. But it's god damn it, it's one of the best like 6 out of 10s I've ever played. Like it does the cool shit is so good. But the stuff that holds it back fucking holds it back, dude. Like my god. Even the performance stuff is so obnoxious. The game is not graphically like very demanding. Like again, I started up Cyberpunk and I see like how good this game looks, how fluid it is, and
oh
how
yeah,
smooth it runs. The Starfield can't handle that.
yeah. I was finally able
Yeah,
to load up Cyberpunk and max everything out on my new PC. And good God, man, good fucking God, that's a
yeah,
good looking
dude.
game.
Yeah, dude. And Starfield isn't even. Starfield can't handle that. Like, and again, you forgive it because of like the scope of the game, because the
Yeah,
game has very big. It's a very big game, and it has a lot of scope. Like, I cannot stress enough how fucking huge this game is. And it's something you do have to like forgive a little bit, and you have to look over some of the more glaring issues to really get the most out of it. And I don't know if a lot of people can do that, honestly.
it just seems like Starfield is like one of those games that was just made in a vacuum. You know what I mean? Where they just blocked out the rest of the world while they were making this game
Yeah.
and just didn't even and blocked out all their previous games too and just completely forgot everything that existed or ever existed while they
Yeah.
were making this game in isolation. And then you open it up and you're like, holy shit, look at what this existed and this existed. Like it's like in a vacuum where they didn't see what video games were like in the past 6 years. Um, because
Yeah,
there's a
exactly.
lot of design choices that just don't make a lot of sense. Uh, like that, I don't know how they QA'd this game. Where like, because obviously, if someone played a lot of shit that is in this game, they'd be like, no, there's no way we can keep this. There's no way we can keep this like this, right? Uh, yeah. So I don't know. It's there's like a stealth mission that you got to do when you do the Ryujin quest line. It all leads up to this big stealth fucking like Splinter Cell type mission, and that's where you realize that the stealth is fucking busted.
Yep.
um,
But
There's
the first
times.
stealth tutorial in Cyberpunk is better than the entirety of the stealth in Starfield.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. I agree. Well, because you can't. There's no like takedowns in in Starfield. There's like no. There's no real stealth unless you're like using a gun or like a
Yeah.
weapon. Because you can't like take down a guy. Like there's no silent takedowns, or you can't like you can kind of move bodies, but not
Yeah,
really. It's
the game tries to have it. It's like, is there stuff in the skill tree? It's like, oh, you could do extra damage if you're. You kind of have to take advantage of some of the stuff that's offered. So like, you can get a weapon that's like, oh, it does more damage when the enemy's at full health, and you have to get the upgrades that are like, oh, do more damage
like
if
a
enemies don't
silencer.
see you.
Dude, I spent
Yeah,
the entire game trying to get the shit I needed to build a silencer on any of my guns. And fucking I finished the game, still don't have I still don't have any of the shit I need to make a silencer.
you have to
Uh
dedicate a lot of time to it. And it's because so much of the stuff is locked behind the skill trees, which I get it. Like, the game wants you to like interact with the game, unlock the shit, right? Play the game, unlock the shit.
yeah, but on top of
My,
that, it's like
yeah,
you need the skills to do it, but then you also need the fucking resources, and
yeah, and
you're never gonna have the resources.
it's obnoxious, especially with like, I don't want to bring up Cyberpunk again because they're different games, but with the newest update, a lot of the stupid shit that was locked behind skill trees, the game just gives you now. So, like crafting, you can craft everything from the beginning. You don't have to worry about like, oh, I need enough points in tech to like upgrade legendary gear. You can just do that. It takes more resources now, and the resources are hard to find, but you can just do it. I'm not wasting time or level ups to unlock the ability to craft stuff. Like,
Yeah.
and in Starfield, that's dude. If you want to craft a specific muzzle, you have to upgrade your research skill so you can get to it. You have to pump the resources into the research to unlock the blueprint for it.
Yeah.
You have to upgrade the actual like firearm crafting to make it, and you need to have the resources to actually produce the fucking thing. There's so many barriers
Yeah.
in front of you to make a fucking muzzle,
Yeah.
and it just seems so archaic and time wasting, and it's just there because oh, it's a video game. Video games do that when it doesn't have to do it. It's really dumb. And but again, the cool so cool. The worlds are so big and expansive, and the fucking cities and towns that are actually handcrafted are brimming with so much detail and life. I just got to what the fuck is that planet that Co is from? That Sam Co's from?
Aquila.
Aquila, and it's so different from fucking New Atlantis because it's got this like rugged, like Wild West, like space western look to it. And I fucking went all in, dude. I fucking joined the Rangers. I got myself a hat and I got a suit, and I'm like, fuck yeah, howdy y'all. Like I'm into this, man. I'm into this. And it's so different from like New Atlantis, which is like this really clean, like huge cityscape. There's so much detail in this shit, and it's just so obnoxious that you have to deal with so much stupid little bullshit to get to the cool stuff. And again, it's the cool stuff doesn't always like justify a lot of the dumb eccentricities of the game. So I know I knew exactly what you meant after dumping, ironically putting more hours into it. I knew what you meant when you said it's hard to recommend the game. Like you can't recommend this game in good conscience because yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Like even though I like it, I know that
Yeah,
I'm an exception, you know.
yeah,
Like I like it despite how bad it is because it is
yeah,
bad.
exactly. And that's hard to sell. That is very hard to sell. And you have to like, and I played games with some jank before. Like the original Dragon's Dogma had some fucking jank and baggage with it, and I still recommended that. But this is just there's so many like obvious little things that are like, were they even trying with this? Like, come
Yeah.
on. Yeah, all in all, like it's still fun. Like I still liked it. I still liked what I'm playing with it, but it is very hard to look past some of the more glaring stuff.
Yeah, and they did come out. I think they put up a post on Reddit, like officially saying that, hey, we're watching this subreddit. We're seeing the things that everyone's requesting for the game, and here's what's going to be in the first patch, or here's what we're going to be working on first. And they mentioned like FOV sliders and a brightness slider, like basic shit like that. But then also like they said like improvement, like DLSS and more improvements to some of the most heavily requested stuff. So they're going to be working on it, and I want to see where this game ends up. I don't think they're going to fix a lot of the core issues, like some of like the quests and shit. Just is that was when that was like the biggest thing for me, is when I finally turned it off. I was like, none of these quests are as interesting as they seem up front. Once you get through it, you're like, man, that didn't pay off at all. So I don't think they'll be able to fix that, but some of the more mechanical shit, I think they can fine tune a little. So and there's mods. I already downloaded a bunch of fucking mods to kind of fix a lot of shit. So there's always that too. So
and that's something to look forward to. Is the mod scene is working very hard to help this game reach its actual potential, and hopefully, like we do get something cool out of it, because it is a cool game. Like there's some cool stuff here. And I liked what I'm playing through. It's just there's, like we said, there's so many like little annoying things to get through that
yeah.
it makes it hard to justify sometimes. But we'll see, man. Like we'll see. Like hopefully they get some improvements here to make the game, to really give this game the potential to show through the potential that I know this game has. Like,
Yeah.
but we'll see what happens, man. See what
Also,
happens.
I tried to go back to Diablo, and
Oh yeah.
it's still unplayable for me, man. The lag, the rubber banding, the lag is just. I thought because people were hopping off now, it's like the player count is very low. So I was like, okay, there's no one playing this game anymore. Let me get in there and I can finally maybe not have a lag-free experience. Nope. I don't know what the fuck is up with those servers, man. I cannot play that game. I cannot play it. So there's that. But you played a little Skate for the first time?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
It's on Game Pass, so I decided to give it a shot. Just for shits and giggles, like because I've been jumping back and forth between Red Dead and Starfield, and I still like Red Dead, but I have this problem where like I put so much time into like one or two games, like I burn myself out of them if I keep doing it. So I played some Skate, something different on the other side of the spectrum to kind of um, to kind of cleanse my palate a little bit, And goddamn, dude, I get it. The game's fun as fuck. Like,
yeah.
It's a much more realistic take on skating, which people are like, oh, why do you play games if you want something realistic? Hear me out. So, as someone who likes Tony Hawk, okay, I do love the Tony Hawk games. What's cool with this game is the fact that all your tricks and stuff are handled on the stick. So to Ollie and Tony Hawk, right, you got to hold the primary button, usually the A button if it's on an Xbox, right? That'll help you speed up, and then when you let go, you Ollie, you jump. In this game, you have to manually press the A button to move your right foot to get speed, and the X button to move your left foot to get speed. And to Ollie, you got to hold down the stick and flick it up. And depending on how hard you flick or which direction you flick will change the trick you do when you Ollie. And little things like that, the game is more engaged with every trick you do is 100% intentional. That you see the appeal there, like in the fun in it. Like I can't describe it, but when I was in school and I would see the skater kids, you know, they would hang out in one corner of the you know the courtyard or something during lunch or after school. You'd see them hang out in a corner and they would like jump over the same thing or take turns doing the same, going over like the same thing and doing one trick to pull it off. Like you see that fun here in this game.
Yeah.
Because so much of it is controlled by that. Like if I want to do an ollie, for example, like I said, flick down, hold down on the right stick, flick up. If I flick to the right a little bit, it's a kick flip. If I flick to the left a little bit, it's a kick flip in the other direction. And while I'm in the air, I can use a left stick to like turn myself. If I hold the right trigger, I can add a little grab to it. Like all these little things are like, I have to work them together. And if I do it right, I can pull off a nice trick. And it's that. It's setting up. Seeing a good spot. And like, oh, I could do like a nice jump here. There's a nice little ramp here. I can do some jumps off. And I can get some cool shit off. And
Yeah.
it's that. It's doing this to pull off that trick over and over and over again.
And the
when you
game
finally get it,
encourages.
you're like, yes,
It lets you put down like a little respawn point,
yes,
so you can keep trying it over and over until you get it.
yep.
And when you finally get it, you're like, hell yeah, I finally got it. And there's no fanfare either. It's just like you feeling good that you finally did the thing that you were trying to do.
Exactly. Like I did, I was experimenting with it a little bit, and I was like, oh, if I hold the right trigger, I can grab with my right hand to the board. If I hold my left trigger, I can do it with the left. If I hold both of them, I can hold both hands on the board.
Yeah.
And I was like, can I flip up and down to go, like, to do a back flip or a front flip? You can. And I played my first, like, skate competition in the game, because I can play through the story mode right now. And I played my first skate competition. And the first little challenge of the competition is like it's a trick contest. So the game gives like a minute, and you and 3 other guys are trying to pull off the best trick you can. Just one trick, you know, where Tony Hawk would be like, oh, the biggest combo you can get. But with this, it's like, no, that's not realistic. It's the best trick, you know. You can pull off the one cool trick, gets on to the next round. And the game has some gimmicks to it. Like you guys are all doing it at the same time. You're not taking turns. Like, okay, let's see your trick. Let's see your trick. No, it's like, you guys got a minute. Here's the spot you got to do the trick over. It doesn't count if you don't do it on here. Fucking go. So, like, there's some craziness there because you're going off the ramp and another dude's trying to do the same thing. So you're fucking bumping into each other. Maybe you pull off a cool trick and you want to, like, stop the other guys from, like, trying to get a trick off so they don't beat you. But what I did is, because I learned I can do a front and backflip, I was like, I'm just going to try to nail that and get a fuck ton of points from it. And I did. It took me like the entire minute of like going back and forth and doing it, because I've been able to do it like, you know, in a private setting, you know, practicing on my own. But now that it's like, oh, 60 seconds, pull it off now, the pressure's on. You know, it's a little bit trickier to do it there. And it was so exhilarating when I got it off. I was like, yes, I did it. I did a backflip, and it was worth all these points. Nobody came close to it. And that got me off in the next round. And I was like, that's when it like clicked. I was like, I get it now. I get why this game is so cool. And I kind of had a feeling I would like it because of the way the game works to really get you in the mind of like what it's like to be a skater. Like, it's that realism that makes it so much fun. Like, I'm sure if you put me under, like, if we did a CAT scan on me playing skate and a skater, like, pulling off tricks, I think a lot of the same synapses would go off. You know what I mean? Like, because it makes you think a lot of the same ways. Like, when you look at stuff and you see how stuff is lined up, how stuff looks, and you start seeing, like, what can I do off of that? You know, I can grind here, but I can jump off of it there. Like this stuff starts to line up a little bit better, and you start to look at the world as a skate park. It's really cool. And you're not just like going through the world at unrealistic speeds. You're not gaining more momentum grinding on a rail. Like, it takes momentum to grind on a rail. Like, you're not going to jump off a rail, grind horizontally, and then expect to keep up that speed for a very long time.
Yeah.
And it's stuff like that you got to think about. Like, and that can be a trick, like doing a kickflip onto the rail, grinding as much as it lets you, and then kickflipping off of that. Maybe get put a little spin on it. Like, that's more exhilarating than like chain together this long ass combo for like a minute in Tony Hawk. Like, that's a lot more exhilarating, rewarding. I want to compare it to like it's a weak comparison, but as someone who doesn't skate, but someone who does play guitar, it's like nailing a tricky song Guitar Hero versus like actually learning that solo. Just one song, not the whole song, but like the one tricky solo, finally getting a tricky solo off on a real guitar. Like, that's what it feels like. It's just it's more work, but it's more rewarding. And I'll argue because the mechanics of skate lets you kind of put your own stuff together, there's a lot more expression in it. You know, it's not just hitting a button and pulling off a cool trick and then seeing how you link it together. Now it's like, make this trick your own. The direction you want to spin in, how much you want to spin for, even the type of kick flip you do is all on you and how you can pull it off, like the dexterity to pull it off. And it's so good. It's so exhilarating. I'm going to play through the first game and try to finish that. Everyone tells me the sequels are way better and they just improve on everything the first game did.
Yeah.
And I cannot fucking wait to try those out, because I know once I play the sequels, I'm not going to go back to the first one. So I want to get my fill on the first one as much as I can, so I can really appreciate like the improvements in the sequels.
Not even just skate, man. I mean, this whole era of EA, people forget that EA used to make good games.
Yeah.
And it was like this. It was Burnout Paradise. It was SSX.
I played SSX too. That's good as fuck too.
Yeah, like, yeah. You know, Burnout Paradise was my favorite of this era, but I mean, they had so many just awesome fucking games in this era, man. And it's really a bummer that we're not seeing these anymore.
Yeah, it's a huge bummer. And you know, we heard, I think they announced, right, there's going to be a new skate game coming out pretty soon.
Oh yeah, they're doing a thing. I forgot to. They sent me an email.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I played it. Cool. I played it. They had a little like play session, like last year, I think. I played it. It was a little rough around the edges, but it was. You could see the foundation was there. So
I'm excited now. I'm gonna play through all the skate games. They're all on Game Pass on Xbox. So I'm like, fuck it, let's give it a shot. And I'm glad I did. I'm probably gonna be playing that a lot more because I was having a lot of fun with it. And the game, like, it fucking sucks up your time, dude. Like, it's, again, like, it's back to that, like, you know, seeing a cool spot and, like, I wonder if I can pull off a cool trick here. And then just trying that over again, nailing it. And then once you pull it off, it's like, okay, let's see if I can do it consistently.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I wasted, like, a good chunk of my day just doing that. Like I said, I see the appeal. Like, I never skated before in my life. But growing up, you know, I knew a lot of skaters. I mingled with a lot of different groups growing up back in the day, and I see the appeal now. I could see where that, and you know, put some multiplayer in that. You know, get some homies around and just like, you know, take turns pulling stuff off. Like, I could see the fun in that. Like, if I wasn't old, I would actually try to get into skating now for real. But I'm too goddamn old to do that. I fucking hurt myself. But I can play it in a video game, and this game does a good job, like, helping me get it and have fun.
You gotta check out Burnout Paradise, man. It's I know you say you don't like car games. It's not a racing game. It's a third person shooter where the cars are the weapons, basically. It's like that. It's like an adventure game, but the car is your character. Like, imagine just like, I mean, it's not like this deep, but like Breath of the Wild, except instead of controlling Link, you control a car. and you kill other
I'm into
cars.
it. I'm into it. Fuck it. Like I would have tried it out already if I was on Game Pass. Like,
I think it is on game. Well, the remaster is on PC Game Pass.
is it?
Yeah. Well, through EA Play,
Fuck it. I'll check it out.
but I think the Xbox version's on there too. I think should be.
I didn't see it when I was looking it up. Oh no, it was Need for Speed. I was looking up because my wife liked some of the older Need for Speed games, so she asked me to see if they
Oh,
were on Game Pass, and I didn't find it. I didn't even look for Burnout. I'll try it.
Need for Speed too. Need for Speed, Hot Pursuit, because those guys started making the Need for Speed games. Well, at least like Criterion, old Criterion, but yeah, even the Need for Speed ones, like the new, like the Hot Pursuit, is great.
There's a specific one she wanted me to look up. I can't remember what it was. Is it Underground? Is that what it's called? Or am I making that up?
Underground is the one everyone likes. Underground 2 is the one. It's like the classic one that everyone is likes. Super Ultra Pimp in the chat says Burnout Paradise is hella hype.
I think
Also,
that's the one she wanted me to look up was Need for Speed Underground 2.
yeah, I
But I
don't
didn't
know. I
see
don't
it.
think that's on there.
Yeah, it definitely was not.
That's just old as fuck. That's a PS2 game. So,
Yeah.
or Xbox, original Xbox.
I think she was kind of hoping it would be on there as like, because there's a lot of like older games on Game Pass, or at least like a way to purchase it, but I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
So that's a bummer,
I
but
mean, if you could find the original, if you could find it on disc, you could do that.
I'll see.
Probably be pretty expensive because those games are very, very
Yeah.
beloved.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give it a shot. Like, I'll see if I can find it because that's a game she wanted to play. Like, it'll be a fun game we can play together. You can show me some shit and I can give it a shot. But yeah, that was me. I was playing Skate. Can't wait to play the other Skate games. I'm also playing Cyberpunk again. I just booted it up the other day with the new update, and I gotta say, it's pretty cool, man. Like I was mentioning earlier, it was really neat seeing the game again and how well the game crafts its world here of Night City. The new stuff in the skill tree is really cool too. Like,
Yeah, they went like Oblivion with it, right? It's like you do things and like you get um it'd be like, hey, if you like dismantle a gun, your craftsman levels up
so
just naturally.
there's different things. So you still have the same thing where there you have your core attributes, body, reflex, technical ability, cool intelligence, and there's skill trees in each of those. And you need to
Yeah.
have a certain level at one of those to hit the cool stuff in the skill tree. But the game kind of had this previously, but didn't put that much work into it. Now you actually have progressions on specific skills, and those unlock certain improvements. So, like there's a shinobi skill, which is like killing people with swords, dashing around the area. When you level that up, you can get things like increase the movement speed, lower cost of stamina from dodging and dashing. And speaking of stamina, they completely tweaked the stamina system. Like they totally changed how that works. So it used to be anything you did cost stamina, right? Like dashing, vaulting, all that cost stamina. Attacking with your melee weapons, all that cost stamina. Now it's just the attacking. So it's the sword slashes, it's the heavy attacks. Even shooting your gun takes up stamina. And if you use too much stamina, it doesn't stop you from attacking. It slows down how fast you hit, it fucks up your accuracy. And the skill trees have bonuses. So like you could lower how much stamina you use up. And I saw some skills in the skill tree. If your stamina is over a certain threshold, you can do extra damage, or you can keep it over that certain threshold. Or you can unlock cool stuff that's over that threshold. So there's some cool stuff here to help it work in a more unified way. There's a lot of stuff I want to talk about that is kind of hard to go over if you haven't played the original in a long time. Do you remember a lot about vanilla Cyberpunk?
No, I played that shit like the day it came out and then
Okay.
haven't touched it. Yeah.
So there's one skill I want to go over that they completely got rid of, and some people are pissed off about it, but I think it's for the best. It's cold-blooded. So in the cool tree, you can unlock this ability called Cold Blooded, where every time you killed somebody, you built up stacks of cold blood, and you, in that tree you can unlock. You can pick what stacks of cold blood can do. You can put points to that. So it could be things like, oh, it heals if you're over X amount of stacks, and you take damage, consume X amount of stacks to like restore health, or increase movement speed by a certain percentage for each stack of cold blood you have. Little things like that. The problem is that it didn't specify whether with melee weapons or long range weapons or killing people with hacks. So it was almost beneficial, whatever build you ran, to invest in cold blood. But the problem is the game is, how can I word it? The game has a level cap. So to dedicate all these points to cold blood is severely going to limit how much you could actually put points in everything that isn't that. Like you'll maybe be able to focus on one other thing than that. So if you want to do like hacking, you got to do hacking, cold blood, and you'll maybe have a couple points left over to invest in a couple things, but not max something else out, which is really annoying because if you get like if you get a really cool like legendary weapon, you can't upgrade it without points in crafting, which you're almost de-incentivized to put points into because you want to put points in cold blood. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like you want to put points in cold blood, the main weapons you're doing damage with, and you'll maybe have left over to do something else, but never to max out something else. You have to max out the cool tree, the tree for whatever weapon you want, and you don't have enough points to max something else. That was like considered the optimal way to play, at least from what I've been playing. They got rid of cold blood. That's not a thing anymore. The cool tree's still there, and that still gives you perks to things like stealth kills, stealth in general, sneaking around. But cold blood is no longer a thing. And to make up for that, each individual skill tree now has cooler skills in it to kind of make up for that. So now you could become a badass like ninja warrior and do a ton of damage with your blades by just putting points in blades. You don't have to sacrifice. You don't have to sacrifice your points to another skill tree to really become this badass like warrior now. So that's cool. That's something I like. A lot of people bitched about it, but that's something I kind of like now because now I have those points are now free to invest into more things. And from what I've been seeing here, like crafting is no longer a thing you have to upgrade. I mean, sure, you could upgrade it. I'm seeing stuff in the skill tree here, so it takes less resources to upgrade some stuff, but you don't have to like, all crafting needs to be at a certain level to upgrade master equipment. Like that's gone. You can just do it. If you have the resources, you can do it. So that's cool because I don't have to worry about putting points into that when I want to put points into something else. Like I'm already seeing the potential here. There's some cool stuff here I can see. And there's some stuff here I didn't even consider either. Like, because in the last game, I didn't put points in the body really. Because it was mostly like heavy weapons and blunt weapons. But now looking at the perks in that tree, I'm like, there's some cool stuff in here. Like there's a shotgun tree that increases damage. Like after you dismember an enemy, you get a bonus to reload speed and damage. You get more armor if you're surrounded by enemies. There's one skill after you max out shotguns that you get 100% damage boost to melee attacks after you shoot an enemy, and you get 100% bonus to shotgun shots after you hit an enemy with a melee attack. Like little things like that are just there's actual points in the weapons and skills you want to use, so you don't have to dump them into cold blood all the time. And I'm into it, dude. I'm into it. They changed the cyberware stuff, so now there's like a threshold you can't go over. But in return, the cyberware stuff is now more impactful, and there's more perks to it than just like, oh, you can double jump now. And a lot of the really cool traversal skills like air dashing is now in the reflex tree. So there's a lot of changes here that I think make the game overall more balanced and give you more options to play without having to be pigeonholed into investing in one specific thing because you want to upgrade your equipment or you want to have viable DPS. And yeah, there's a lot to go over here that I haven't even touched on, but I can see the potential here. If you played Cyberpunk, even if you played the shit out of it, just start up a new campaign with this new skill tree or how the skill tree works. You'll have fun with it. Or if you played Cyberpunk and you were kind of into it, but you weren't super into it, give it another shot because the skill tree might be what convinces you to get back into the game. But I like it. I like it a lot. I'm playing it right now, dude. That's still cool. It's still a fun game. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
All right.
But yeah, that's it. Moving on to the news now. Nintendo had a Nintendo Direct back in September 14th, and they announced a lot of stuff. Starting off with Splatoon 3, it's getting a new expansion pass called Side Order. It's a new DLC. It looks kind of like a single-player roguelike mode. We're going through this like tower. I'm not gonna lie, it looked pretty cool.
It looks cool, man. This whole Direct made me want to buy another Switch, knowing that they've got something new coming soon.
Yeah,
And I'm like, I just want a new Switch.
I want a new Switch too. And there's been rumors like Switch 2 being worked on.
Yeah.
And if that happens, I'm gonna pick one up for sure. The rumors are true. That's supposed to be this more powerful system that's on par with like what we got now, with the current generation of consoles.
Yeah. Or they're saying it's more PS4, Xbox One type shit.
Even then, that's fine. Like,
yeah.
Like that console is already like starting to show its age. Like, there's some incredible games for it, but these games could be better with better hardware. I will still argue Tears of the Kingdom, even though it's a great game, the 30 FPS doesn't kill it for me. You can't argue the game won't be better with it. Like, come on. Like,
yeah.
Anyone who's like Tears of the Kingdom is perfect the way it is, no. If it would objectively be better if it could run at 60 FPS. Come on. Like, and if a new system will let it do that, I'm all for it. Like, bring that shit on, dude. I'm here for it. But yeah, they showed off some cool stuff. Splatoon, the new Splatoon DLC looked good. Mario vs. Donkey Kong is back, so that's cool.
This looks great.
Yeah, it does look great. If you ever played the GBA Mario vs. Donkey Kong, those games are fun as fuck. Or that game was fun as hell, and this is a remake of that, so cool. Prince of Persia: Lost Crown got announced for Switch, which great Switch game. Like any Metroidvania, I think would be a great Switch game. Horizon Chase 2 looks really good. Super Crazy Rhythm Castle. I'm still not sure what this is. It's like a action adventure rhythm party game. Like,
I have no idea.
Question mark.
It's a Konami joint, so it's got a bunch of like Konami music in it too, and it looks fucking awesome.
It does look awesome. I'm not even a huge rhythm game fan, and I thought this looked cool. Like, I'm into it. Like, everything at this Direct so far has been pretty cool to look at.
Yeah.
Spy X Anya, Operation Memories, the Spy. If you guys have never seen Spy X Family, it's pretty dope. This is a game directly based off of that. Looks cool. Looks cool.
Okay, we don't have to talk about everything here.
All right, cool. Because I want to get to the stuff I really want to talk about. The new Super Mario RPG looks awesome, but let's talk about Princess Peach Showtime really quick.
Yep.
This looks fucking cool, dude. I liked what I was seeing here. And those of you who don't know, we did get a Princess Peach game, a solo Princess Peach game on the DS.
I really
That
like
fucking
that game.
forever ago. I never played it, but I heard it was good.
It was great.
Kind of ironic or kind of funny that the first female character, the first time Princess Peach, a female character, becomes playable in a Mario game, and her powers is like emotions, like being emotional, but whatever.
I forgot about that. Yeah, she had like a cry power. Yeah.
Yeah, her whole power set was like being emotional, which is
Yeah.
a little fucked up if you think about it for more than like a minute, but let's ignore that for a second because we got this cool game here, Princess Peach Showtime, coming out. This looks really cool. You can transform into these different costumes to like match the set that she's in. And I'm still trying to figure out what this is, like a 3D platformer, like beat 'em up, maybe, kind of. Not
I
really.
think it's a little bit of everything because her outfit changes, but the gameplay of the whole thing changes along with the outfit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's like one of the first outfits they show off is this like the sword fighter thing, which is like really cool to see. She's like parrying and like juking people and like there's some cool stuff here. Like I like what I was looking at here. And it's got this like kind of this fixed camera 3D, like a Super Mario 3D World kind of had, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Which I was into. And they show off like a ton of stuff. Like there's a like a detective outfit. The game turns into like almost like detective like style game. And then she puts on this like chef outfit. It turns into like a cake decorating game. Like there's a lot. I don't know how much this stuff affects the gameplay, but it looks like a lot. It almost changes the genre of the game you're playing.
Yeah.
From like area to area and costume to costume, which I'm into. Like this looks fun. Like it looks like a fun game. Like
It's crazy, man, because after watching this Nintendo Direct, I'm more likely to buy a Switch than I am a PS5 or Series X. I'm more likely to buy a second Switch than I am my first PS5 or my first Xbox, which is insane to me.
Like,
I'm completely uninterested in anything these fucking consoles are doing, except Nintendo, who's killing it, and I want to buy a second Switch because of it.
Yeah, Nintendo's always had like really cool shit, and this direct just showed off like, hey, we make fun ass games. Like we make fun games that are fun to play. You know, they're not the most graphically intense thing, but it's an experience you're gonna remember because you're gonna have fun playing it. And
yeah, and
like,
like that's all that matters.
Just that. Yeah, I miss when games are just that. Games are just fun. You know, they didn't have to be movies. They didn't have to be this huge like feat in graphical prowess. You know, games can just be fun, and this Nintendo's the king of that. I'll argue Nintendo's the king of fun. Like, we got some other stuff announced too. The Tomb Raider remasters look really cool. I never thought we would see those coming out.
Yeah.
But like I thought, excuse me, I thought Square Enix put all their money into like, oh, here's new Tomb Raider, here's new Lara Croft.
Yeah. Well,
I never
it's
thought
not
they would
Square
acknowledge
anymore.
old games. Oh, right. They sold off all that shit.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah. Okay, so that's cool then.
These are pretty good. There's a good series on YouTube where this guy programming turning Lara Croft into an AI with her own personality and shit. So she had like, he gave her a voice so she can like comment on things, and she like solves all the levels in the game on her own without any assistance, and it's really fucking cool. It is probably the coolest thing I've ever seen with AI so far.
So she comments on the puzzles in the game as she's like playing through it.
She is herself. She acts like she is not a character, or she acts like she is Lara Croft, actually exploring the locations in the game. So but then she like gets like self-aware and is like, huh, I have infinite ammo. Like she learns that she has infinite ammo and then starts playing the game knowing that she has infinite ammo. It's like the most crazy. And then she comments on it, like gives her a voice and allows her to comment on the things she's seeing. So she's actually exploring. She looks at the architecture and goes, oh, this is 15th century Aztec or some shit like that. Like she'll actually comment on shit like as if she's an archaeologist. And it's really fucking cool.
That's really cool.
It's really cool. So if you have not seen that shit, I think she's on like level 5 now in the first game. And sometimes she gets stuck. She's like, I don't know what to do, and she like backtracks, and it's just really fucking cool.
That is really cool.
Poobin in the chat says, "You mean Microsoft's gaming division? Nintendo is fun." Because I think that'll come up a little later. Microsoft was trying to buy Nintendo at some point.
Yeah, I'm just on try like. If you guys remember, EA tried to buy Valve back in the day, and yeah, just saying, like, we'll talk about that later, but yeah. Yeah, Tomb Raider, the new Tomb Raider looked cool. The Tomb Raider remasters 1 through 3 looked cool. Don't care about the Pikachu. Trombone Champ looks fun. Like, I always wanted to try it.
Yeah, it's cool that they integrate it with the Joy-Cons and shit.
Yeah. And then just like, there's a lot of cool stuff on here, but there's a lot to go past too. War Tales looked cool, but Contra Operation Galuga.
Yes.
I never thought we would see a remake of Contra made by Way Forward of all people.
Yes.
I'm into it, dude. I'm into it. I've been wanting to play that scratches that Contra itch. I own Contra 4 on my DS, so I was playing through that recently. Still fun. Hardcore Uprising is still on the Xbox Series X eShop or the Xbox Microsoft Store with backwards compatibility. So I want to buy that and play over it again because Hardcore Uprising is fucking dope.
Yeah.
But this is cool too.
This one's it's 4 players too.
Yes. Which I've never seen a Contra game before. That's gonna be insane.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
So it's gonna be on PC as well, and that's where I will be playing it. So
I don't know where I'll be playing it. Most likely Switch, but well, we'll see. If the performance is better on PC, I might pick up on that.
why imagine buying a game on Switch that you can play on any other platform?
I don't get a lot of time on my PC, dude. Like, I have a kid. I can't just like sit in my computer room while my kid's in like another room.
True. Okay.
I get time to play on PC when my kid's sleeping, or these dedicated times for the podcast because my wife is nice enough to watch them while I do the show.
Yeah.
Which if you're listening now, you're probably not, but if you are, baby, thank you. She doesn't have time to listen. She's busy watching her child. But no, this looks cool. It's a reimagining of Contra 1 made by Way Forward. I kind of wish it had that Way Forward like art style, you know, the hand-drawn stuff that they did with
2D.
like Shantae.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is fine. This is still cool. A new Vanillaware game. Unicorn Overlord. I don't even care that it's like a strategy game. Like I'm excited there's a new Vanillaware game coming out.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to play this, but I love Vanillaware.
I love Vanillaware too. Like, they make good shit. They put a lot of work into the artistry of their games, and that's something I can get behind, man. I might pick this up just as a show of support. I was hoping 13 Sentinels would hit PC at some point, and it has not. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with Vanillaware and PC. They hate PC, I guess, because they do not. Most Japanese developers, isn't it? Like,
I don't know.
Most Japanese developers.
Well, no, they've been embracing PC lately because they know there's a huge market on it, so they've been embracing it lately.
Vanillaware is a lot smaller than like most Japanese devs, though. Like, they're not the most successful company, unfortunately. And because they make stuff that's really just kind of their own thing, they don't have the biggest market appeal either. They're like early platinum games, basically. Like they haven't had that until 13 Sentinels came out. They hadn't had that like killer app that like really made them a fuck ton of money.
Yeah.
But
Well, I'm
I
not even
get it.
sure how big 13 Sentinels was.
It sold pretty well. It was one of their more successful games, which doesn't say a lot because their games like their games make money, but you know they're not doing these huge like gangbuster numbers.
Yeah.
And I still would love to see Dragon's Crown come to something maybe. Vanillaware, if you're listening, get
Yeah,
Dragon's
fuck
Crown on
yeah.
Switch.
That's yeah. Like
Like
it's
Switch or
crazy that
PC.
game hasn't that the PC would be the ultimate platform for that,
I
but
agree. I agree.
anything would do.
Yeah, that game was on Vita, PS3, and PS4. Come on, Vanillaware. Just get it to something else. Like I fucking love Dragon's Crown. I want to play more
Or
Dragon's
like
Crown.
make a second one or something. Like
Make a second one. Yeah.
it's interesting they just don't do sequels.
Yeah. I mean, Odin Sphere got a remake, but you know what I
Get a
mean.
a remaster or I don't even know what it was. A
Well, it's
remake?
kind of a remake because they changed the combat system a little bit too to match up with what Dragon's Crown was doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, come on, Vanillaware. Like I want to buy your games. Whatever you release Dragon's Crown on, I'll buy it. I've bought that game 3 times already. I bought the game on Vita, PS3, and PS4, and I'll continue to buy it on whatever the fuck else you shove in my face. Like, come on.
Now I'm
You
wondering if
want my
that
money?
game's on cloud. I don't think that's on cloud either.
Dragon's Crown? I don't think so.
Or any of their games.
Yeah, I don't think so. Where was I? Yeah. This game looked cool. I liked it. Moving on. Luigi's Mansion 2 is coming out in HD, so that's cool. Check that out. There's a Nintendo Museum you built in Kyoto. There's some cool amiibo figures coming out. F-Zero 99 is a thing.
Yeah. Have
Which
you fucked with this?
I haven't fucked with it yet, no. I've
Okay.
been dealing with a bunch of other shit, but no, I haven't played it yet. I want to, though. It looks cool.
What a genius idea.
Very good idea. I know there's some people that would just prefer a new F-Zero game, but
Yeah.
this is cool too. Like, this is something that's cool. I actually heard rumors that there's going to be something F-Zero related. So I was thinking like maybe a new F-Zero game or maybe some of the older F-Zero games are coming to like Switch Online. But no, F-Zero 99 is cool too.
Yeah.
Such a cool idea.
I just don't know how they keep doing it, man. Did they say this is going to be temporary? Is this going to be around for a while? Like forever? Preferably?
Is it supposed to be a temporary thing?
Well, they've taken down every single one of these.
But they were up front with the other ones though. They were like, hey, this is not meant to be a permanent thing.
Yeah.
And actually the only one they took down was Mario.
And
Like Tetris 99 is
Tetris.
still up. Oh, it's still up.
Okay.
Yeah. I think. Hold on. I had a coworker that was like playing it at work the other day, so I think it's still up.
Yeah. I want to be able to play this by the time I get that second Switch.
Yeah, it's still up. Tetris 99. So I don't see why F-Zero wouldn't be up. And with Mario, they were like, "Oh, this is supposed to be a limited time thing for Mario's like anniversary or whatever."
Yeah,
Which was dumb. Just leave it up, man.
Yeah.
Come on, just leave it up. I'll pay money for it. Like, just leave it up. Make it. What they should have done is made it free for Switch Online members during like this short window, right, during its anniversary, and then charge everyone else for it. That's what I would have done. But whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not Nintendo though, so. What was I? Reminds me when they did a Four Stars Adventure on the DS. You remember that? Were you there for that? So they re-released Four Swords Adventures on the 3DS. Of all systems, the 3DS. And it was a free to download thing for Zelda's anniversary. And I think they released it at the same time they finally dropped the Hyrule Historia. And that's how long ago it was. And it was a temporary download that you had to be there to get it. And if you didn't download it in that window, it was gone forever. You couldn't download it. And it was fucking incredible. My cousin and I downloaded it way back in the day, and we played the shit out of it. Like all night we were playing it. And I was so pissed off that it was like a temporary thing. By the time my buddies, like some other friends of mine, got a 3DS, like they couldn't play that game. Yeah, I don't know why Nintendo likes to do this shit, but there's some money to be made here, dude, and they're not doing it. We got Bandle Tale, League of Legends story, don't care. League of Legends game, something new, don't care. WarioWare Move It looks fucking cool.
Okay. I'm not a fan of the motion shit, but
me neither. But I'm a fan of WarioWare. So
yeah. You know, I would just rather just the game without all the stupid motion shit, because then it makes it so you can't even play this without how would this even work? They sell consoles that don't have Joy-Cons.
I guess you just don't play on those consoles.
Okay.
Sucks to be you. I just imagine so like, hey, how do I play this on my Switch Lite? And Nintendo's like, oh, that's the neat thing. You don't.
Yeah.
But no, jokes aside, like this still looks cool. Like anything WarioWare related is like,
It looks
I'm
fun.
not a huge, yeah, it looks fun. I'm not a huge like WarioWare fan. I'm not like, I haven't played every WarioWare game, but I like what WarioWare does. I have fun with it.
I just don't like the gimmicky one. It's the same thing they did on like Wii U. You know, it's just like the gimmicks. I don't like the gimmicks, man. I just want straight just the games.
Yeah, no, I hear you. They should just they re-released the WarioWare on the GBA for Switch, didn't they? Or am I making that up?
I'm not sure.
I feel like they released it on Switch Online, but I might be making that up.
Yeah, they need to put out a new Rhythm Tengoku.
The hell is that?
Rhythm Heaven.
Oh,
Yeah,
I know what that is.
which is the original WarioWare.
I never played them, but they look cool. Wasn't Elite Beat Agents another one, or is that like totally separate?
I think it was separate, but it ended up it ended up being in the same universe, I guess. They reference it in WarioWare and Rhythm Heaven too, I think.
Cool. Nintendo just sits on all these IPs that can be doing cool shit with, and they just don't do it. It's so annoying.
Or they do just out of nowhere.
Yeah. We got Uden Chronicles, 100 Heroes. I know that game's been a lot of people's radar. Eastward's getting a new DLC. Wargroove 2's coming out. Dave the Diver looks really neat. Mario Kart 8's announced their new booster course pass. Among Us is coming to Switch. We got a cool scissor reel of Nintendo Switch games, but last but not least, something that nobody fucking expected. I didn't fucking expect this. I didn't think about this. But Paper Mario, the Thousand Year Door, is coming to Switch as a remaster.
Yeah.
I did not see that coming. Like, that is... I played Thousand Year Door on GameCube way back in college, because a buddy of mine had it. And I thought the game was incredible. I had so much fun with it. And looking online, that's a lot of people's like favorite Paper Mario game. Because I think that was the last Paper Mario game to come out that still like kind of stuck to that traditional Paper Mario formula.
I've never played Paper Mario.
Like, it's like Mario RPG.
Yeah.
You ever played those? But it leans more into the RPG stuff. At least I think it does. I feel like it does. But
It
that was the
looks
last
cool.
game to that was the last game to have that traditional Paper Mario like gameplay. Because after that was like Super Paper Mario on the Switch, and that was like a platformer. And then you had like Color Splash and stickers, the sticker game. So this is a lot of people's like favorite Paper Mario. So it's cool to see them like coming out with that. Like I'll probably check it out when it drops. They're gonna charge like 60 fucking dollars for it probably,
Or
but
70.
yeah, or 70. And for what I've seen on it, it doesn't look like they really changed a lot on the game to justify it. But the fact that the original GameCube game still goes for like $100 for like a loose disc, like I'm fine with dropping like 60 bucks on it. I can play it on my Switch. But yeah, nobody saw this coming. Sony also had a state of play where they're showing off some stuff. I didn't watch the state of play, so there's a lot of stuff I couldn't go into.
Oh, don't worry. You didn't need to watch it.
That's what I figured. Resident Evil 4 is getting a update for VR2. We got the Separate Ways DLC for Resident Evil 4 Remake coming out, and with some updates to Mercenaries mode. I haven't tried that yet. Might give that a shot later tonight. Just play some of the Mercenary updates.
Hold on.
Avatar
They
looks
started out
okay.
with baby steps. Baby steps is probably the only interesting thing out of this whole thing. Well,
I'll
that's not
talk
true.
about it.
That's not true.
I didn't see it, so talk about it.
It's the next game from Bennett Foddy.
Let's pretend I don't know who that is.
It's the guy that made Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy.
Oh yeah, that one. Is this like
Before that
one of those?
he made Quap before that, which was the internet, like, you know, it was like a browser. Quap was like, you know, Quap.
Yeah. Quap getting
Anyway,
over. I'm starting to see a trend here.
this is like Quap mixed with it was like Quap in 3D, I guess, mixed with Getting Over It a little bit. It looks
I'm starting to see a pattern here for the types of games he makes.
yeah. I mean, his like that type of game. It kind of, I don't know. It's kind of like a parody on game design, just traditional
Yeah.
game design as a whole. I guess. I mean, that's. I never got around to playing Getting Over It, even though I have it. But he has like commentary while you're playing it, and he gets into some like philosophical shit while you're like playing that shit. So
That's cool.
I think there is some like deeper meaning behind his games. But yeah. Um yeah. Avatar looks good. I don't want to sit there and be like, "Oh, this game looks like fucking just another Far Cry," cuz it looks fucking great, right?
Yeah. It does
And
not look bad.
I want to play it. I do want to play it cuz I've taken a little break from Far Cry. So this looks like a better Far Cry than just the formulaic Far Cry that we've been getting.
Yeah.
So
You kind of have to take a break from Far Cry sometimes. Like,
yeah,
Far Cry is not the kind of game you play every release. Like,
Far Cry, and just even like Far Cry style games, because it did breed a new genre of here's the outpost game where we knock out all the outposts and shit. Like it did spawn a new wave of that kind of game, and I've been just
yeah.
avoiding those in general.
Yeah, same. They're not my cup of tea anymore. So
Yeah.
even
But
Far Cry 5, which I praise, like I kind of dropped that pretty quickly.
Code 2 looks fucking awesome. You can pre-order this game
Oh yeah.
now. It just looks dope. I don't need to see any more of this game
Ghost Runner
because
2? Yeah.
I
Me neither.
already know that. Yeah, I can say that for basically all of this state of play is that I don't need to see any more of any of this. Spider-Man 2, I don't need to see anything else. Fucking, it looks good. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna buy a PS5 for it,
Same.
but it looks
Helldivers 2
good.
still looks good. Can't complain with that. I haven't played Tales of Arise yet. People are excited for the new expansion for that, the new DLC
Yeah,
for that. Foam Stars looks cool, even though it rips off fucking Splatoon really hard. Um,
yeah,
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth got announced,
yeah,
and yeah, there's a lot of spoilers there if you like know anything about Final Fantasy.
yeah. I was
But
looking at this and I was like, I'm gonna turn this off because it seems like this is spoilery as fuck. Like, I don't know why anyone would want to see any of this. Like, aside from, hey, look at the game, it's gonna be good. They said it's gonna be 2 discs, by the way, which
what?
I don't even know what that means. At
Why?
the
How
end,
is that necessary?
at the end of the trailer, it says February 29 on 2 discs. 2 discs.
I mean, wasn't Red Dead Redemption 2 on 2 discs? Or am I
Was
making
it?
that up? I think so. Hold on.
I don't know. I got around to it on PC, so
I think Last of Us 2 was on 2 discs, wasn't it?
was it? No. Well, I get everything digital, so I don't even know what the fuck a disc is anymore. Hamtaro said last night, Tokyo Game Show, they showed 30 minutes of gameplay for this. I don't need to see that. I don't need to see that. I mean,
Yeah, Red Dead 2, Last of Us 2, they both had 2 discs. One was like an install disc,
one was an install and the other one
and the
was
other one was like
the
actually
play.
running. Yeah, yeah,
I don't even, why even get buy a disc anymore, man? Like, why even bother?
yeah, exactly. But I could see Final Fantasy having to do the same thing, but like, I don't know why though. Like, because the games are Blu-ray discs are so like massive. You know, you shouldn't need 2 discs to like
I
do
mean,
that.
Blu-ray, I think dual layer Blu-rays only do 100 gigs. Am I right on
Yeah,
that? And we're already seeing games are like over 100 gigs. So for a while, I mean, I think a lot of games just download. I think it's so you don't have to download anything from the internet. You know, like a day one patch basically just downloads the rest of the game. I don't know if that's true, but
yeah, maybe. I don't.
but
I don't fucking. I'm more and more just moving to an all digital like future here. And I
the,
get people have their gripes with it, but like, dude, with they make purchasing discs and stuff so like inconvenient and annoying. Like,
yeah.
all digital is just a much easier way to go.
Um, with Final Fantasy, they did show a lot of variety in the gameplay, which it's one thing. Like, I would rather see that. I don't want to see any fucking of the story shit. Don't show me a fucking cutscene. I don't want to see any of that. Like, if you want to see me the chocobo races, that's totally fine. Like, holy shit, there's chocobo races. You know, I maybe like show me like a summon or two, but like the gameplay stuff is fine. I don't want to see any of the story stuff. You're showing me shit that is definitely a spoiler.
Yeah.
Like some of the stuff they showed with Zach, I'm like, I don't need to see that. That is a spoiler. uh but it looks good. It looks fucking good. So I mean, I'm the on PC right now. They're having a Tokyo Game Show sale, and it's on sale. This game's on sale right now on PC.
Final
It's like,
Fantasy 7 remake.
yeah, I think it's like 40 bucks. I might buy it and replay it again. I've been wanting to replay it, and I haven't gotten the intergrade shit yet.
I was gonna say like the PC version comes with the integrate stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah,
So
yeah. So
that might be worth it alone, just because the last time you played was on PS4, right?
yeah. So
Oh yeah, yeah. This
I
is
played the
like
dog shit version.
yeah, you played the worst version of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely just get the integrate version. I'm looking for an excuse to play it too because I played a little bit on PS4. I already said my gripes with it. Like, I like it. I like what it's trying to do here, but it doesn't do enough like action game stuff to scratch the action game itch that I have. It doesn't do enough of the turn-based strategy stuff to scratch that itch. So
Yeah, and I think they realized that and they fixed it in, well, I don't want to say they fixed it, but Final Fantasy 16 is literally just an action game. It's fucking Devil May Cry. So
yeah,
I really want to play that, but again, I don't want to buy a PS5 just for that.
yep, same.
I will wait for it on PC and I will enjoy it there. But yeah, so same thing with this. Like this looks this is the best way to play. Anyone who's like clutching their pearls and is like, "Oh my god, I can't believe they did this to Final Fantasy 7. They ruined it." Like this is the best Final Fantasy 7. This is the best Final Fantasy 7. It just is. Like there's no, it's not, this is better than the original. Like I was straight up saying that. Yeah. Like even though you spend 12 hours doing what in the first game is like 3 hours, it's or no, in this game it's like 50 hours, but even then it's better, man. It's so much more fleshed out. Like in the original, it's just not, you don't really get a sense of the state of the world.
Yeah.
But in this, you really fucking do. Is way more impactful in this game than that first one. It's so much better. Like there are points where it is just like filler content. Like some of it is just definitely like padding to kind of pad the length of the game out a little bit, but it's still a fun game. Even in those sections, it's still very fucking fun. So it's the best. It's the best Final Fantasy 7. There's no way.
I still gotta play it, but as someone who played the original Final Fantasy 7, never finished it. Like,
yeah, I never finished it, but I did at least the first, like the content that is in the first remake game. I at least did that much in the original.
I didn't even do that. Like,
yeah,
it's such a bummer because like turn-based RPGs, even if you got beef with turn-based games, like even if you like turn-based games, like turn-based games have gone through such an evolution since FF7.
Yeah,
that it's hard to go back and play it. Like the active battle system's still neat, but don't get me wrong, but you know, compare that to Persona 5. Like, come on. Like,
yeah,
or any SMT game or any Atlas RPG. Like, just turn-based games have gotten just so much more interesting and deep than what FF7 was able to do back in the day, which isn't the game's fault. Like, I shouldn't compare it to modern standards, but it makes it very hard to go back to that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And that's kind of what holds me back a little bit. Maybe one day I'll finish it, maybe, but we'll see. But yeah, FF7 Rebirth is coming out for PlayStation. Who knows when that's finally coming to PC, but it'll get there when it gets there.
Yeah.
And some quickie news. It might not be a quickie. We'll see. The Unity disaster. In the last like 2 weeks, the Unity shit came out. And those of you who don't know, Unity recently changed their licensing model. So it used to be free software, right? I think it was how it used to work.
It was free on tiers. Either the bottom tier was the free tier.
Yeah, you paid up for the higher tiers to get a license. And they just, out of nowhere, decided that wasn't enough. And they decided, hey, we're going to charge 20 cents for every install? Not even every purchase, but install.
Yeah.
Which is so fucking ridiculous and tone deaf. Like, what the fuck were they thinking? Like, and they had zero transparency on how that was going to work, how they were going to even enforce that. And people have asked, well, how do you differentiate people who install the game to multiple systems? If you bought the game on Steam, you install it to your PC, your laptop, and your Steam Deck. And they were just oh, it won't affect that. But they never talked about
no,
how
I think
they
said it would. I think they said it would. Yeah,
I've heard multiple stories. I've heard either if someone asks like, hey, what if this shitty thing happens? They either say, well, that shitty thing is gonna happen, or that shitty thing won't happen, but they had zero transparency on how to back that up.
Yeah, I think they pretty much said like they have like a proprietary software that they use to track this shit, but they didn't explain like how it works. They just say, no, we've got a thing that'll
Yeah.
we can and I'm like, what can we like see? Like what the fuck are you using?
Yeah, this is people's livelihood, man. Like you're charging people money for this. Like some transparency would be fucking nice. Like
Yeah, but I think they did come out because some people did ask them like on X, they zeted out some like questions and said, like, hey, if this happens, what is the like? I think they brought up like piracy, and they'd be like, yeah, if your game's pirated, that counts, and but we'll have it's like yeah, pirated copies count, if multiple installs count. They were like, so if someone like wants to fuck with me and just uninstalls and reinstalls the game over and over, that counts. And we're like, yeah, that counts, but we'll have stuff in place to kind of prevent that. And it's like, oh, what is like, what's the yeah, how can you possibly detect that?
yeah.
It's like shit like that. Yeah, Super Ultra Pimp says absolute clownery. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like they were just dropping balls. Like
And then some developers came out and said, "Hey, we're not gonna, because it wasn't supposed to go active until next year." So some developers came out and said, "Hey, next year we're removing our game from the store when this activates." I think the guys that make Code of Lamb did that.
yeah. They made a statement that they're like, yeah, we're delisting the game next year, like once this happens. So
Yeah. And
get your
then
copy now.
I think even Unity came out and they were like, someone asked them like, well, who's going to be responsible for paying this stuff on like Game Pass or whatever? And they were like, yeah. And they were like, no, Xbox is going to pay that. Or like, what about like shit on like mobile? And they're like, no, Apple's going to pay that. And then that gave me flashbacks of, remember when Cyberpunk was fucking up? And they were like, no, Sony's going to do your refund. And then Sony was like, no, we're not. And then fucking just deleted them. Yeah, that gave me flashbacks of that where it was like, yeah, no, that's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen at all. Exactly. And not just that, but like, they had zero like explanation of how the infrastructure is supposed to work, and oh god, it's just so obnoxious. And it's one of those things like if you take 5 minutes to think about it, you realize what a fucking terrible idea it is.
Yeah,
and how like anti developer it is. Like even cloud gaming, like they have to install that game to multiple servers. So what is that? Just like a couple grand out of your pocket just because you have like a cloud deal? Like
yeah.
And again, like you can argue, like, well, they could have, like Microsoft, Sony, or Amazon, anything with a cloud system could like work that into their deals. But yeah, but this is retroactive though. Like, what about the deals that are already set in stone? Like,
yeah.
You know,
I think that was one of the bigger problems is that it is retroactive. So even if your game's already out or has been out for a while, it's still going to affect previous games or games that are still in development that haven't even come out yet, that they're now having to think about, no, if my game releases now, I gotta fucking deal with this shit. And this wasn't part of the terms when I started work on this game 3 years ago.
Yeah. And what's insane too is that like when they asked them, like, why don't you just do like a regular like, profit sharing like deal? Like, I could just do a standard industry, just, cut of the profits like arrangement. And they gave some bullshit excuses like, well, we want to empower developers so that they can have those upfront funds to make money and develop more games. But it's like, yeah, but then you're going to get them stuck in this fucking constant payout to you for the entirety of their game's existence. Like,
yeah,
that's so much worse in the long run. And I'll argue, they did try to say, well, it's only for like the first, like, what, million downloads or something before it starts charging you. Like, you get those first million downloads or 200,000 downloads for free. But it leaves such a nasty taste in my mouth, dude, that this just in perpetuity, you'll just be paying these the Unity just because like someone want to re-download a game they bought from you like a year ago.
Yeah.
Like perfect example, you know, fucking Hollow Knight is made with Unity. They got a new expansion coming out pretty soon, or a new is it expansion or a new game? Silk Song is coming out.
Yeah.
You know, once that game gets closer to release, people might go back, re-download, you know, Hollow Knight, you know, get excited for the sequel. And then now like the developer has to pay all this money for a game they already charge people for. That's going to take more funds away from them for no reason. You know, they say they want to give these funds, those upfront, like, you know, profits to developers so they can embolden them so they can make more games, which are actively going to hurt them when their games get these surge in popularity. Like, that's insane to me. Like, this is so just anti-developer, anti-consumer. The only people that benefit from this is Unity, and it's so shitty. And you saw them backpedal on it already. Like, they made a statement, like yesterday?
Yeah.
They're backpedaling on it, but the damage is already done. Like,
Yeah. And they backpedaled a little bit. I think the thing is they're still doing this, but they've ironed out some of the more egregious parts of this. Like, it won't be retroactive anymore. It won't be. I think they've increased the thing. It used to be 200,000.
yeah.
And they've increased it to, okay, now it's, instead of 200,000, it's 1 million within a month.
Okay, that's where I got the 1 million number from.
Yeah.
That's where I got the 1 million number.
So they're still doing it. They're just adjusting things to make it more. And I think it does address some of the more egregious parts that people did have a problem with. So it's like better, but still they've fucked up because they've sprung this on people without any so much of a warning. And it really just it ruined the trust that people would have had.
They really should have just like sat down and talked with like developers first.
Yeah.
Like sat down with some of more high-end developers or more popular developers for
even internally
Unity.
Like even the people working at Unity were blindsided by this. Like even some of the people who work there were like, what the fuck is going on with this? We didn't know this was happening. Someone like, I think they got like sent death threats and they found out it came out from inside the company.
Oh yeah.
Like even the people working there had no fucking clue that this was happening.
That's insane.
So yeah, it's just they need to be more transparent. I think they've already written out, like realistically no one's going to leave Unity, at least not like at the drop of a dime. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're working on something, you're gonna finish it. You're gonna see it through even if you're halfway through development.
But that's absolutely gonna hurt like
in the future. Yeah. People are gonna start looking at. I think like Godot is the new one people are looking at. Even they've put out like a huge update for the Godot engine that that just coincided perfectly with this fucking shit. They put out a huge update for the Godot engine that people are looking at like, oh yeah, this might be a good alternative. So yeah, we'll probably see things kind of shift in the like a year or two.
Hopefully we'll see, but no, they did everything wrong here, man. Like what the fuck were they thinking?
I think even after this the fix came out, people started looking at they're still trying to like defend themselves in this, because I think they removed their like terms of service a few days before they announced this whole thing. Their terms of service were removed, and people were like, look man, you removed your terms of service, they're trying to hide shit. And then Unity came out and was like, no, we did that before all of this because it wasn't getting the views we wanted. And people were like, who cares about views? on your terms of service. It's not like a fucking YouTube video where your views matter. It's your terms of service. That people need to see that shit, especially like lawyers who like, or if they're like, if someone's expecting to take like the next step in their Unity thing, they're going to need to look at the terms of service to figure out if they're doing things correctly according to what the terms are. And you know, it's not something that's going to be getting 1 million views per day. It's only something like people who need it are going to look at it. So
Yeah, exactly.
and they were trying to defend the removal of that shit, and it's like, you guys are really not. You guys are really just missing the mark on everything you're doing. So we'll see where this goes. I think all the threats that were made to delete games or whatever, that was just, no one's actually going to do that. So I think the Code of the Lamb guys, they're you know, they'll be fine. And you know, all this will blow over in the short term, but the long term is people are probably gonna just leave Unity. So they'll find something else, switch to Unreal or Godot or something else. So
yeah, we'll see what happens, but yeah, they lost a lot of good faith, and there's no coming back from this. I think they're not going to have a lot of the same good faith that we had from developers the last couple of years, and I think we are gonna see a lot less games coming out running on Unity because of this.
Yeah,
because they show that there's at a drop of a hat they can just implement all these really shitty things to just make your life as a developer harder and more expensive for no fucking reason. And that's not going to fly with people. Like, that already hasn't flied with people. We're already seeing it start to take effect. And I'm sure any up and coming devs that had aspirations to make games, like, we're not going to see that on Unity anymore, which
yeah.
they did this on themselves, man, but they shouldn't have done that. Jesus Christ, this whole thing was like a shit show. It lasted a week.
It's still
goddamn.
ongoing, I think.
Yeah.
But there was also an Xbox disaster.
Oh yeah. There's a huge leak. And we saw it. A bunch of stuff just came out about Xbox, and
yeah, most of the shit was like fucking who cares? It's like personal emails and shit like that.
Yeah.
No one gives a fuck about that. And then the other stuff was like leaks of the future plans for Xbox console and even games and shit like that. And that was more of the juicy shit.
and that's stuff I was excited for. Like Fallout 3 remaster? Yeah, bring it on.
Fallout 3 remaster, Oblivion remaster, which there's a whole modding team that's been for years working on Oblivion and the Skyrim. Yeah.
Oblivion, I remember that.
And so like when this shit leaked, they were like, oh fuck.
But teams come out and said that they're still like dedicated to making it.
Yeah, they're gonna finish it. I mean, they just announced their like release date for that thing. So also we don't even know if all the stuff that leaked here is just that. They're just like leaked the plans. You know, it's nothing that's like solid yet. So but it is interesting just to look into the mindset of where they're at, just the stuff that they're looking at, trying to accomplish with the future of these things. So Xbox Series X refresh, which is cylindrical.
Yeah.
Codenamed Brooklyn. And I think the thing that people were worried about with this is all digital. It's a Series X with no disc slot.
Which, like, I mean, I was kind of expecting this to happen sooner or later, because right now the only one that's all digital was the Series S, I think, is the one that's all digital, and it's less powerful than the X.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that they're like, okay, if you want the power of the X, but you don't, you want to go all digital, like, here's a version of that, and you can save some money because it won't have a disk drive. Like,
yeah, I think people are freaking the fuck out because they think that this is going to be the only option. This is it. This is the one, and we're going to get rid of discs. but I don't. That's not gonna fucking happen. The worst case, they do get rid of the disc, but they have a separate add-on that you could just plug in, and then you know, like a plug-in disc drive or something like that.
Yeah, I can see them doing that. This is what happens when like you introduce something new to console gamers because they're so used to just like, oh, this is the only option we have for the hardware. That when you see something like that, it's like, you know, I could see the concern where that comes from. You're not used to like having multiple hardware options.
Yeah, well, that's the
But
thing. Like, that's the thing that was the thing that always bummed me out about when they first announced the Xbox One. When they were like, hey, it's all digital and you connect to the internet, and then that's how it works. And people will fucking slam that shit. And I was like, in reality, who the fuck is not connecting their console to the internet? Like, who doesn't do that? There's probably people who do, but it's like it'd probably be such an insignificant amount that the people who are outraged at this shit, it's just like a fake outrage. I don't think anyone actually fucking gives a shit that your console has to be connected to the internet, because you're gonna fucking connect it anyway.
I think people gave a shit. I don't think it was fake outrage. Well, I want to have a little like asterisk here at the time, because if you think about when that got announced, that was like what, when was that, like 2010, 2011 when they announced that?
Yeah.
So the world wasn't quite like all connected like it is now, you know. Like the internet definitely got more popular, it was more frequent, but it wasn't like the staple of households like it is now.
I disagree.
And
It's not like it was like 1996 or some shit. Like, people
no,
were
but it
fucking
wasn't like this
connected.
widespread thing like it is now either. At least I don't think it
Like,
was.
I think it definitely was. I think it definitely
Like
was.
like my family finally got home internet in our house around that same year. So I think like a lot of people were still holding out at the time. And, you know, ironically, that minority was more vocal online, but whatever.
It's just, I think
Um,
if we allowed that to play, if we allowed those plans to play out, we would be seeing a much different, the whole gaming landscape would be totally different right now, because it would have been a world where you could like trade in your digital games.
yeah,
uh it would have just been totally different. It would have been interesting to see this fucking world where we would have already been doing this digital shit. I mean, people were holding on to these fucking discs, and it's nonsense to me. In an age where everyone's subscribing to like 12 different streaming platforms, and like, this is the fucking world, man. Like, they predicted the future. Like, they were ahead of the curve, man, and all this shit.
yeah,
And
people just weren't ready for it. Like,
people weren't ready for it in their heads, but we were ready for it. I think they just didn't know it is the thing. They were ready for it. People just didn't know that they were ready. So,
yeah,
and even now, when they fucking show a console with no disc drive, people are like, "Oh my fucking god, they can't do this. What about my discs?" And it's just, I think people were just fucking retarded. So people weren't ready for the Vita. Pubin says. I agree. Sony wasn't even ready for the Vita.
oh man, I love my Vita.
They're saying this thing would have the same great price of $499, but they're removing the disc drive, and they would have more terabyte extra of storage. So 2 terabytes, which is that's a decent amount.
Yeah, it's not an insignificant amount of storage, so that's good.
It would have better Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 5.1. Just updated everything. I don't think it would be more powerful. It doesn't seem like they'd be more powerful, but it would just have better, more up-to-date hardware. And that goes into the controller. It seems like they're really doubling down. See, I like that Microsoft is like, they're looking ahead into the future. I think they know that cloud gaming is going to be pretty big in the coming future. I think they're trying to set themselves up for that. So the controller that they're showing here is direct to cloud, which is one of the things that Stadia was doing with their controller, which is that was a direct to cloud controller. It just, I guess it reduces latency, I guess. I don't know.
That makes sense. If the controller itself is on the internet, correct, connected directly to the server,
Yeah, instead
there's
of
less
making
latency there. It's not
one
going through
extra
the
hop.
server. Yeah. That actually makes sense. It's really cool. I never heard of that before, but I can see how that would work.
Yeah, Stadia did that. I never got to try it. I thought Stadia was fine just as it was. You know, I did try Stadia not with the controller and it was totally fine. But I have tried Xbox streaming and it is not fine. So if this controller makes it better, then that would be great. They're saying stuff about the control sticks in this too. If it's not Hall effect, I ain't buying. I'm just saying that out straight up. I ain't buying no more controllers that don't have Hall effect sticks. I'm done. I'm just done. So they're saying it's like interchangeable or modular, whatever. Use every word except Hall effect. So I don't know what that controller is going to be.
Yeah, that's a lot of words to say. Like it's not Hall effect, but whatever.
Yeah. So.
Well, we'll see when this stuff comes out. Like, well, there's some other stuff with Xbox too. Like, you know, they wanted to buy Nintendo, but that fell through. There's a bunch of stuff I think that came out in that like leak.
I think the rest of the stuff is less interesting.
Didn't the Xbox Activision merger go through?
It went through. They're adjusting stuff for Europe. I think Europe was the thing that that was the stuff where Ubisoft, they're doing that thing with Ubisoft.
Yeah, I think like the European courts just like accepted their new proposal. I think that just happened. I think that just happened. Yeah, as I saw a thing about it online, and a buddy of mine was like upset about it. But there's the thing: a lot of people complain about it, like, "Oh, this is like bad for gaming. It's creating a monopoly." Now the Call of Duty is going to be Xbox exclusive. Like Microsoft has no way to survive in the market anymore. And it's like, but then when you ask about a PC port for Ghost of Tsushima, they're like, just buy a PlayStation.
Yeah. It's great that I can't play Final Fantasy on anything else anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, so many people are just upset that like Microsoft's going to be doing this, but Sony's been doing it forever already.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna sit here and bitch and moan that like Activision owns, like Microsoft is that Microsoft bought out Activision, you also better be complaining that like I can't play Last of Us 2 on my PC.
Yeah.
Like I want to hear that outrage too. You know, don't just select it when it's like bad for you. But whatever. I swear the fucking hypocrisy, man. Like everyone just get a PC. Just fucking eliminate consoles completely.
I agree.
Just
the
fucking
PC,
throw them all out.
PC Nintendo combo is all you need. It's all you need.
I agree.
You'll eventually, if you don't get the games on launch, it'll eventually end up on PC. Anyway, so it's not even like you just gotta wait a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. And that's like, I think there should just be like a huge like day of reckoning. Just there's someone should put out something that just bricks every fucking console on the market right now and just force everyone to buy a PC. Have Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo's, all of them developed for PC. That's the only way we're going to get any sort of unity here. But whatever. A man can dream. Dragon's Dogma 2 looks incredible. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So Tokyo Game Show is happening, and there were a bunch of stuff that came out at Tokyo Game Show. I didn't care about any of it except this. And maybe Final Fantasy, but I don't need to see any more of that. This I want to see. and it's
Yeah,
kind of
dude.
unreal. I don't know how real this game is, man, because it looks like Breath of the Wild, but with Dragon's Dogma. If that makes any sense, I don't
No,
know.
I hear you.
But a lot of it looks fucking scripted though. Like I don't know how real the gameplay is. You know what I'm saying? It looks like scripted events. Like when like there's a point where they knock an ogre, they knock over an ogre, they knock over an ogre, and he falls down in a way where it's like there's a chasm, and he falls down in a way where his fallen body turns into a bridge, and you can walk over him. And I'm like, that has to be scripted. There's no way that you can just think of doing that. Or I don't know. This was a game that was kind of, it was Breath of the Wild ish even when it came out, because you could just climb enemies and you could just
Yeah.
climb anything, and that was really cool for the time.
Yeah, I was gonna get the stamina to back it up. You could like climb up enemies and traverse these landscapes, and
Yeah,
a lot of people would play the ranger class specifically because it had all these like movement options.
yeah,
And the game does some cool shit, man. Like I'm a huge Dragon's Dogma defender. Like I love Dragon's Dogma. I actually when this trailer came out, because I told you I was in the hospital because my son was sick. He's fine. Everybody that's worrying, but he's fine now. He was in the hospital for the week over the week, and when I saw this trailer, I downloaded Dragon's Dogma again on my Switch so I can play through it. And it's still a fucking solid game. Like it's still really fun. It's still
yeah,
there's a lot of really cool shit. And I'm excited with this because they're showing off some of the base classes you know about, fighter, mage. It looks like the Strider has been split into two classes now. So it used to be
yeah,
if you want to play the like rogue, it was just a straight rogue class. It was called Strider. And that class lets you use dual knives and had all the cool movement options and climbing and let you use less stamina, kept you light. Now they split up into two classes. Now it's like ranger and thief. So I don't know the differences between those two really.
I bet because the original game had like branching classes that would merge. So if you like got two classes to level
Yeah.
10 or whatever, it would turn into something that was like a merge of those classes.
You didn't
So
even have to do that. Like you just like there's a point in the story where you can unlock vocational classes that are just like
oh
dual vocations and you can just do it. It was in your interest to level up the classes it's based off of. So if you're like a Mystic Knight, for example, which is like the fighter mixed with like the mage, it was in your best interest to level up both those classes so you can get the augments and skills to make that one better. But you
yeah,
didn't have to max them out to get it. Or if you did, you only had to max out one of them. I can't remember. But they showed off some of the new vocations here, and these look incredible. What do they call that one? The Mystic Spearhead or Mystic Spearhand? What do they call it?
something like that.
That one looked fucking cool. That was like my new favorite class here. It was like it's a magic class that did melee attacks too. But the gimmick is that it had this weapon that was like a double. They called it a duo spear. Yeah, a duo spear, which is basically like a double bladed like sword, like a double bladed polearm. And it looks fucking cool. Like it had a lot of the movement options you saw in some of the faster classes. A lot of the attacks it was doing were really neat. You can teleport to enemies, pick them up with like what is that, telekinesis, and throw them at people.
Yeah,
Like this is cool as hell. Like I
it just
love
looks
that.
so cool.
It does. It looks so cool.
The only thing I wish this game had was just some form of real multiplayer. Not that it's like needs it, but it would have been a good step up. It would have been a good step up from just like the straight pawn system. You could just have like one other player with you, kind of just team up with
No,
online.
I agree. Like it would just be more fun, I think, to have a friend with you to just fuck stuff up with. You
Yeah,
can coordinate stuff better that way. Like the pawns are cool, but like it's not the same as like having a buddy with you
yeah,
to coordinate this stuff with. Especially since like I don't know about this game, but the base Dragon's Dogma, you kind of had to like manipulate the pawns a little bit into like trying stuff. Like I remember I had this one issue where there's this boss I was having trouble with, and the boss is weak to fire. I knew it was weak to fire because I fought it before, but my pawns didn't know that. So they weren't trying their fire spells or techniques to fight it.
Yeah.
So they never got that realization that like, oh, it's weak to fire. Fire hurts it. So I had to like, I remember before I went into the fight, I crafted like a fire bomb, so I can do that initial like damage to it because I wasn't playing a magic character. So I crafted a fire bomb so I could do that initial fire damage. So it gave my pawns the hint that hey, fire hurts it. Like use fire, and the fight became so much easier now. They have to waste that first like minute or two, like figuring out what it was. My pawns have to waste that first minute trying to figure out what it was weak against. It was probably my fault too. I'm sure I had the pawns set to like a certain behavior that they didn't try new stuff. You know, I'm sure I had that set up too, but
yeah.
that
If you
would have
like
been a problem.
if you recruit other people's pawns, they'll have like knowledge of their own. That I think in my pawn, I ended up so on PS3. I ended up like I think I platinum that game on PS3. I played through that game like 4 times. Yeah,
It's a good ass game.
So like my pawn knew every fucking thing. So if you recruited my pawn, they would just tell you, "Hey, this way, cut its head off, cut its tail off, hit the horns."
Yeah,
do
they
this.
were just like, "Hey, follow me to finish the quest."
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, if you've never played Dragon's Dogma, do it, man. It's a fucking good game, and it's like different. It's very different than most other these fucking copy paste ass open world games, man. Like that's the thing. Like when this game came out, it was just fucking different. It's still different. Like nothing's ever tried to copy what this game did in great ways. Like I think this game came out, and then it was like Demon Souls. Right, it was like around the same time that Demon Souls came out.
It came out around the same time. Yeah, it came out around the same time Demon Souls did, or I think Dark Souls actually, and Skyrim. So people were comparing it to like, oh, it's got this open world of Skyrim, but it's got this dark oppression of like Dark Souls. Yeah, and people. I remember a lot of comparisons were like the Dark Souls. And I remember when I finally played it, I was like, this is like comparing it to Dark Souls is a disservice to the game. Like it's so unique in its own thing that actively comparing it to other games that already exist is bad for it.
And then, but those two games really overshadowed this game. Where like a lot of people just missed this game in the cloud in the fucking huge fucking cumulonimbus that was Skyrim and Dark Souls. So
yeah,
a lot of people didn't even fucking see this shit when it came out.
And it did sell well. Like it sold enough to like warrant not a remake or a remaster, but like a super version, you know what I mean? Because Capcom has this habit of like releasing their games with like, oh, here's like Devil May Cry Special Edition or Super Street Fighter, you know? And they did that with Dragon's Dogma when they released the Dark Arisen game. Yeah. Which wasn't even an expansion. It was just like, it's like, here's Dragon's Dogma, Dark Arisen. You got to buy this game again to get the Dark Arisen stuff. But with that, they changed a lot of the shit people hated with it, and that's the version that's like on modern consoles. Yeah. And I've said for years, like if this game got a sequel, it could improve on a lot of the annoying stuff that the first game did, and make something really fucking incredible. Like the first game was good, and the first game was special, but they can do something really, really cool with a sequel. And they kind of did that with the Dark Arisen game, because they were able to go back and change some of the stuff people didn't like about it. But this sequel, oh my god, it's just Dragon's Dogma, you know what I mean? It's just everything bigger, better, faster, stronger, everything. It's just, I'm excited. I am just hella excited for this game.
So that first game's on Steam. I think it's on sale right now for Tokyo Game Show sale. Yeah. I think it's like $5. You can get it for $5. Definitely do it. Great game. Prepare you for this game. So when's this one coming out? Does it have a date on it yet?
I don't think it has a date quite yet, but or if it does, it's like sometime soon. Actually, let me double check. What's the release date for Dragon's Dogma 2?
I don't think it has a date.
Let me see. Googling. sometime in 2024.
Okay. Okay.
Which is good. I'll get behind that. But take your time with it, you know?
Yeah. It is a next gen only game though, so
Yeah. So you
yeah.
got to get a modern system or PC.
Or PC, which yeah, that's my chosen platform.
Yeah, I think that's what I'll be getting the game on too.
I wonder if Microsoft's going to try to tackle this for Game Pass. That would be great.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not going to complain if they do.
They were at Tokyo Game Show and they were wooing the Japanese audience. So they announced like Yakuza, all the Yakuza Ishin and all those other games are coming to Game Pass.
Oh yeah, Microsoft's been in bed with Yakuza for a while now. Like all those games are on Game Pass. Like
yeah.
except for like the newest one, like Ishin, I think. But
Pubin says
like a dragon, it's on Game Pass.
Pubin says looks like this can run on PS4, which you're not wrong. Graphically, doesn't look extremely impressive, but I think technically it's doing a lot of shit under the hood. Technically, that like there's a part where like they blow up this river and it like tumbles down on everything, and I'm like, there's no fucking way. Like I've never seen a game do this in real time before. So
I have.
Really?
You know what the game was? You know what the game was?
What?
Monster Hunter World, another Capcom game.
Oh yeah.
But to be fair, Monster Hunter World was like, you pick a level and you go through it. Granted, they're open-ended, but they're not interconnected. With this, it's an open world game, so the whole world's like interconnected here. So I wonder how that stuff affects the rest of the world too. Like if you blow up that like dam, does it like flood a nearby village or
yeah.
And probably like putting stuff into it that they have no intention of doing, but
and that's the kind of shit I'm expecting from a next gen fucking game, right?
Yeah,
it's like that kind of world interaction where if I blow up a dam over here, I expect it to like flood out a city downstream. That's the disappointment I've been having with next gen, is that there's just not been any good examples of shit on that level. Everything's kind of just been the same. So
yeah, I'll argue that like Capcom's been trying to like do this next gen thing as much as they could.
Yeah.
And Bethesda to an extent with Starfield, but I feel like all these developers, they have these next gen consoles. They're like, oh, let's just do what we've been doing last gen, but prettier. And like, no, that's not what I want to see.
Yeah.
Like I remember when the Xbox 360 got announced. Yeah. Like I remember when the Xbox 360 got announced and I saw like Dead Rising for the first time. I was like, holy shit, that's a next gen experience. Like, this is something that's impossible in the original Xbox. And I got excited for that. And I haven't felt that since that generation of consoles. I think that was the last time that they were like, oh, we have a more powerful system. Let's take advantage of that and do some next gen stuff in the gameplay, not just in the graphics.
Yeah. I mean, we're already talking about like mid console refreshes.
Yeah.
And I feel like we don't even have a game yet. Not a single game that can be seen as like, this is, here we are, this is next gen, this is the demonstration. It's like it's so disappointing. It's the reason why I haven't been compelled to buy a fucking PS5 or Xbox Series, is because it's just I can just do this on my current thing.
Yeah, exactly. I'll argue Ratchet and Clank. The new Ratchet and Clank does a lot of stuff with its gameplay, but a lot of that just relies on the SSD. You know, not so much the internal like performance. Like anything with the solid state, you can do that with.
Yeah.
Which is cool to see it. Like it's better than nothing. I'm not gonna sit here and shit on it. Like, but I want to see like really really cool shit. Like I want that experience where I'm like, holy shit, if I try to do this on my PlayStation 4, it would catch on fire. Like,
yeah. And just beyond visual stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I haven't had that that moment yet, but we'll see what happens in the future. We got some game releases. El Paso Elsewhere is finally releasing on PC, Xbox One, and Series X.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this. I'm really excited for this.
I got the FPS one, but I didn't get to play it yet.
Yeah, that one's like a prequel to this one.
Yeah.
And it's
but I want to set myself up.
Yeah, this game was good. You played it during the demo, Derby. Like, I convinced you to try it, and
yeah,
like you and I both fell in love with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into it, dude. If you want to set yourself up for this, like go play the original Max Payne.
True.
Yeah.
I've never played Max Payne, so any of them. I have them all on Steam.
There you go. That's a way to set yourself up for this.
Yeah.
But no, this looks good. I can't wait. Harvest Moon: Winds of Athos is also coming out for PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series X. Mineko's Night Market for PC and Switch. Paleo Pines for Switch, PS4, all the systems. Storyteller on mobile. Train Sim World 4. I've never even heard of that one.
It's the fourth Train Sim world, dude. I mean, how could you not?
And then Ty the Tasmanian Tiger 4 is releasing on Switch. Like,
Right.
That's an old game. And that game already got a release back in like 2015.
Yeah.
So it's barely come to Switch. Like, it's cool, good on them. Next, you got Paper Beast Enhanced Edition. I forgot this game existed, Paper Beast.
I don't know what this is. I feel like I've seen it.
I've seen it before. And I don't know what it is either. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know what it is, but I've seen it before. I think it came out like forever ago. Let me see. I remember it was a VR game. Yeah, it came out like back in 2020. But I think like people were talking about it as early as like 2016, 2017. But I might be wrong.
Sandbox simulation game. Is it like Spore but with like paper animals?
I think so. But that's coming out on PS5, so go check that out. Disney Speedstorm is coming out on everything.
Awesome.
It's a hero-based kart racing game.
That's a weird way to say that.
That's what it is.
Well, I mean, that's what they're calling it, but it's not totally. I mean, what? So is any fucking kart racer a hero-based game?
So I will argue a hero-based game. You can make it a hero-based game if the characters' like abilities
have
are
abilities.
exclusive to the character. Yeah.
Do they have abilities?
I think so. So it looks like here.
Is Lilo and Stitch can I like shoot motherfuckers with the ray gun? I haven't seen any gameplay of this. This has been out in early access on PC for a while. Like, what is Belle's ability? Mulan. What is Mulan's ability?
I don't know.
Is that Baloo?
Oh, it is Baloo.
I might have to buy this game. Oh, it's 40% off right now. I'm probably gonna.
Really?
Yeah, it's like $20 on the standard edition.
The characters have different classes. If you look at like the character list here on the second trailer, it's like halfway through 30 seconds in. You have like Defender, Brawler, Speedster.
What? Is there like a support class? What is this game?
Yeah.
I've not seen anything about this game. Like, no one's talking about this. I might just buy this and just take a look at it.
And it's cool to see it's not just the animated Disney stuff. Like, if you look at the character list here, like in that second trailer, Elizabeth Swann is a character. She's that girl from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not just the animated characters that get some attention, too. So, but I love that when those characters are here, they're using the live action, they're using the animated version of them, not the live action version. Like,
yeah, the Kingdom Hearts version.
Yeah, like Mulan this is the 1990s animated Mulan, not the 2019 live action Mulan.
So they should have like both, like a skin to choose.
Maybe that'd be cool. I'm sure that's like an issue. There's like licensing and stuff because like now they have to use an actor's face and
Yeah. Okay.
okay, hold up. There's like a okay, so there's like a season system here.
Yeah, it's a live service game.
But how the fuck? What makes this a hero game though? Like what do the characters have like exclusive skills,
Well,
abilities? They have classes.
that's what we're saying, man. There's
I'm putting way too much like time into this. Like, let's move on. I'll look into this later. Dolphin Spirit Ocean Mission. Is it a new Echo game? No, it's not. It's a simulation game. Still cool. You can pick that up September 28th. This next game. Infinity Strash. Dragon Quest, The Adventure of Dai. Which I guess was like a manga and an anime, and now it's getting a game. Like that's where this comes from.
okay.
But it's like an action, a very action heavy like Dragon Quest game.
I can get on board with that. Hack and slash
Yeah,
PV.
it's like
It says PVE.
yeah, it looks like Dragon Quest Devil May Cry, which I compare everything that's like an action to Devil May Cry, but when I say that, you know what I mean. Or maybe like a Muso game. Well, no, it's not a Muso game. Like
If it was a Muso, I'd be more into it as a Muso than
I'm the opposite. I'm more into Devil May Cry than a Muso. Oh, this looks cool.
this actually does look cool. I'm wishlisting this.
Did you see the I put the trailer up forever ago. Did you see the other game that Kira Toriyama's working on?
The dust
Sandland? Yeah.
Sandland, yeah.
Sandland? That looked cool as fuck. Like
They announced that a while ago.
yeah, that
On
one
the
looked cool.
Xbox. I think they announced it on Xbox.
Yeah. But yeah, this game looks pretty dope. It's got this modern gen like graphical fidelity you see in like those anime games. So I like that. But it's got that kind of old school PS2 looking like jank, so I'm into it.
Yeah, I
You
like
don't
that
see
it's
action
not.
games like this anymore.
I like that it's not just like another Naruto fighter.
Yeah.
So many of those. It's like that's like the go-to format for these fucking games. It's like, I was making
Yeah.
a Naruto
Like
arena fighter.
yeah. Yeah, I hate those. I'm bored of them. Like I don't like arena fighters. This looks cool though. Everhood Eternity Edition's coming out. It's a like rhythm-based RPG that a lot of people are comparing to like Undertale, and the developer of Everhood got like really pissed off people were doing that.
Yeah, it's a little more than that.
Yeah. This looks cool as hell. Like I heard about this game and I saw the trailer and I was like, this looks fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So I might pick this up. I'm not a huge fan of like rhythm-based games, but it looks more like it's leaning into like the bullet hell like RPG aspect and the rhythm stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm into that. I fucks with that. Bring it on. Gothic Classic. So if you're a fan of the original Gothic, there you go.
Can't believe
That's
this
coming
game's
out on
making a
Switch.
comeback.
I know. It's getting a remake too, isn't it?
Yeah.
We also got My Hero Ultra Rumble.
This is a battle
This
royale.
is a battle royale. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a free to play battle royale. So this might be cool. Big might though. Huge might. All the might. All might. I am here. Did you like that? Did you like that segue there?
That was great. I'm curious about this, man.
Yeah,
I don't
me too.
Yeah. I mean, free to play. It's got to have free to play bullshit in it, then, right? I mean,
It's definitely going to.
Like, it's got to be like a gacha game where you got to get the characters.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be. It's also made by Bandai Namco, the Arena Fighter guys. So
Yeah.
I don't understand how a company that can fucking make Soul Calibur and Tekken can make like Boruto Strikers. Like, come on. You could have done anything. You could have done anything. And you made this. Like, come on.
I heard
Whatever.
that Dragon Ball one was good. That Dragon Ball Dead by Daylight version. I heard that was
Oh,
pretty
yeah?
good. Yeah.
I heard the opposite, but yeah.
Okay.
What's it called again? It's like
Like Dragon Ball, the
the
Striker Breakers.
Yeah. Yeah, the reviews are mostly negative.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe. Yeah. Okay.
I heard it's like mostly the monetization is like what's annoying with it, which is weird because the game's like a $20 game, but whatever.
Huh.
And they're up to their third season now. Oh, the Ginyu Force is on this.
Oh, come on, man. Mostly
Uh,
negative. The Ginyu Force is in it. How's that negative?
like I think this season's focusing on the Ginyu Force, which is like that's cool. As a Dragon Ball fan, this is cool. I want to like this game, but nobody else likes it. And I'm scared to buy it because it'll be dead in like a month with the way the reviews are going. Like they have their powers, that little green guy like freezes you.
Yeah.
Like they have all their shit.
Oh, it's $7 right now in Green Man.
Oh, there you go.
So I'm buying this.
Go check it out. Yeah, play it, stream it. Tell me what you think.
Yeah.
And look, you can play as like Dende and like heal people on Namek. Like this is like, look, while Gohan's fucking them up, you're like running around saving civilians. Like this is cool. Like, come on. Like,
Yeah.
what did they do to fuck this up? Like, I'm hoping they didn't do anything to fuck this up. It's just people got this expecting like DBZ Kakarot and didn't get that.
Yeah. Like it
But a lot of
looks
people
fucking
complain
good.
about the gotchas. I think a lot of people complain about the gotcha stuff. Because I'm looking through the reviews. A lot of it's like
Is
the
it a
gotcha
gacha
stuff
game?
people
Yeah.
complaining about. Yeah.
That will do it. Yeah,
And people keep talking about how the people keep talking about how like the game has a lot of potential, but it's like the gotcha that's holding it back, and that kind of bums me out.
I mean $7. You can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah. Come on.
Yeah. I like how we're talking about My Hero and we just devolved into like Dragon Ball.
Yo, that game's not out yet, and this is.
Yeah, that's fair. Overpass 2 is releasing on PC, PS5, and Series X. What is this? Like a UTV racer? Yeah. A UTV ATV racer. Oh, that's cool. That's kind of new. I haven't seen anything like this.
Almost reminds me of Motor Storm.
A little bit, yeah. Next is Pizza Possum. I fucking love this.
Pizza Possum.
This looks adorable. I love this. Look at that possum. Just sitting there, just like, I stole your pizza.
Yeah, we played this a little bit during one of the demo derbies.
Oh my god, this is straight up the that strip that Animal Crossing game from the Wii U. Oh god, remember the Wii U Nintendo Land? Remember that?
No.
No?
Nobody does.
There's this Animal Crossing game. You just steal candy and take it back into the middle of the map. You just steal candy and deposit it in the map. And there are guards that like fuck you up if you try to like take the candy. And the gimmick was that like you had one person played as the guards and they used the gamepad, and everyone else played as like the Animal Crossing characters. Remember that?
And did it have like, was it set up like in like the Mario Kart battle mode where it was like it had walls and shit, and so the guy had playing first person on the pad or some shit, and everyone else
he
could
wasn't
see.
in first person. He wasn't in first person, but the person on the pad, like there are two guards, and the left stick controlled one guard, the right stick controlled the other. And I think the person who played as the guard can see the whole map, but the people stealing the candy couldn't. I might be wrong on that though.
It's been
That
a
game was
while.
cool as hell. That game was cool as hell. That was like one of my favorite games to play on
Well, here you go.
Nintendo
It's
Land.
fucking
Yeah.
all
This
Pizza
looks
Possum
like
has
that.
co-op too.
Yeah, this looks like that. But less charming, but still cool.
Yeah, how is this less charming?
Dude, Nintendo's got that charm. Come on.
Okay, I'll give you. Yeah, true. But
I will
this has
send
charm.
you. I will send you a video of what a game like that looks like, and you will. I'm not saying it's not charming, just less charming. Sweet Day. That's what the game was called. Sweet Day.
This has charm. Put it in the stream chat, so
Yeah.
everyone can see it.
The Switch had some fucking awesome games in the asymmetrical multiplayer stuff that
Switch. You mean the PU?
Nintendo's the Wii U. Yeah, sorry, but yeah, the Wii U had some great games. Nintendo Land was like a perfect like pack-in for the Wii U.
I didn't never.
show you,
Was
like-
that a pack-in? I don't remember ever.
It was a pack-in for the black model because remember when it released? There's two models. There's the white model that had like half the memory.
I had the Zelda one.
Okay, so that's it. When the Wii U first dropped, when it first came out, like there's two models. There's a white vault model that had like half the memory of the black model, and the black model was the only one that had like the pack-in with Nintendo Land. And I remember it was like really annoying because like it was only like $50 more, and it had like a game in it, and it had like double the memory. But no, this game was fucking cool. And if Pizza Possum is just that, but like on modern systems, it doesn't have the same like asymmetrical stuff that the Wii U version had, but I'm into it.
Yeah. Yeah. It does have
I'm
co-op
gonna-
though, so
I'm gonna send this to my brothers, like see if they'll like be into it. Hold on. Carrying on. Wild Mender is releasing on PC, PS5, and Series X September 28th. What is this? A desert gardening survival game. Okay. That's cool. We can develop this desert to like an oasis with like that's cool. I like that.
mhm.
I'm kind of sick of survival games though. There's so many of them. Like
Yeah.
even the ones that like stand out, like this one does, that have like a really cool art style and a cool idea. But turn this wasteland into like an actual like living environment. Like I like this. If this game had come out like 5 years earlier, I probably would have picked it up.
I think what I want out of these games is just I want all the farming bullshit, but then I want decent combat on the other side too.
Yeah.
Like I want a good action game that also mixes in the farming shit at the same time.
The closest that's come to that is like Grounded.
Yeah.
It's the closest I can. And it's only because Grounded is made by Obsidian, so they're just like, oh, let's just do our like, you know, Bethesda combat stuff in this.
Yeah. Okay. What else we got? Cocoon. Cocoon is from the guy that made Limbo and Inside. They showed this during, I want to say it was one of the Sony things. They showed this where it's like one of those like Russian doll simulators
Yeah.
where you can go inside a world and that world has another inside in it, and another inside. It's all like nested worlds, and you can take a world out of another world and put it in another world and then jump into that world inside another world.
This is such a weird high concept game, and I'm into it.
Yeah. It looks pretty fucking awesome.
What is this? Just like taking stuff out from like one world, like one layer to the next. Like,
Yeah.
okay, this is like a weird concept. I gotta check out now. I think I might be into this.
Yeah. I'm not even sure what the game is. I guess it's some sort of puzzle game.
It says it's an adventure, puzzle, exploration, platformer. So
Okay.
there we go. Yeah, check that out when it releases September 29th. Yeah. Then EA Sports FC24.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
their new like
FIFA. They don't have the
yeah,
FIFA license anymore.
yeah. So they get to change stuff now. So
Yeah. So it's FC now. And it's using the Frostbite engine. I don't know if they did before, but it is now. And Hypermotion V.
whatever that means.
You know what it means.
It
How could you
sounds like
not?
something I might. It sounds like something if it was on my TV, I would turn it off. You know what I mean? Like one of those like settings
Yeah,
that
like the
like
smooth motion shit. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I mean, if this.
this is all like pre-rendered so far from this first trailer, but it looks pretty cool. Like,
Oh yeah, because it's supposed to look cool. They're not going to show you the actual fucking gameplay. 'Cause it's gonna be
yeah,
broken.
yeah, I need to see what this game looks like. Who knows? They might like have something cool here because they couldn't just copy and paste the FIFA shit over. They had to like put some work into making something new. So
True.
it might be
So
something cool. We'll see. I mean, when it comes out, we'll see what people say about it.
the $70 game. So
I feel like most people that buy FIFA every year though are buying it, for the FIFA name.
yeah,
So they see this EA Sports FC24. I can't imagine those people are like, oh, this is like the same people that make FIFA, and they're gonna buy it.
yeah,
Can't imagine that consumer is gonna like pick this, is gonna look at this and be like, oh, I recognize EA. They made the FIFA game I like.
yeah. It'll be interesting. It'd be like if they lost the Madden name.
Yeah,
What do they have then? It's like
yeah, exactly. Next we got Fate Samurai Remnant for PC, Switch, PS4, and PS5.
yeah,
It's
okay.
a Koei Tecmo, like Musou. Oh
Is this a
no, it's not a
Muso?
Musou.
Oh
No,
god
it's not
damn
a
it!
Musou.
Fuck.
It's an action RPG. Oh god,
Interesting.
what is it?
These Fate games are usually straight up just fighting games.
Or Musous,
I've not
or
seen one as
visual
a
novels.
Muso or a visual novel. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is a fucking adventure game.
Yeah, it's got like a skill tree and everything.
Wait,
What
it
is
says
this?
JRPG.
Well, Tales of Arise is a JRPG, so
Oh, true. Yeah, JRPG has lost all its meaning now.
yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
No,
what is this?
This
This
is a
looks
video
cool.
game, dude.
Yeah, this looks cool. What is this?
Okay, well, this is going in the wish list.
Yeah, this was. I didn't care about it, but now I do.
Yeah.
And not just that, but like because it's like this, it's Fate Samurai Remnant. It doesn't have the baggage of like the other like Stay Night games. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because I don't fucking know anything about Fate, so I purposely avoid Stay Night because because like there's so much like stuff behind it. I don't know where to start.
Yeah, I wonder if this is the ground floor of this thing.
I hope so.
That'll be interesting. I want to play this.
Yeah, me too. This looks
Huh.
cool.
The battle over the waxing moon, which could grant any and all wishes. The waxing moon ritual.
You know what this reminds me of? What was that one game Bandai Namco put out forever ago? It was on Game Pass. Scarlet something.
Scarlet Nexus.
I think so.
How does this remind you of that?
Just the combat,
Oh, okay.
because it looks like there's a follower system. So you got a follower. You could you got like a partner. You could like wombo combo with, and like perform like some coordinated attacks. So kind of reminds me of like Scarlet Nexus in that aspect. Which Scarlet Nexus is a good game. I'm gonna go back and finish it. I actually like that game a lot. Okay, this is going on the wish list.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's gonna do it. Thank you everybody for coming in, saying hi. Poopin was saying he was gonna buy Wii U be emulated instead. That's probably the best option. Like
Yeah,
You
it's
can't-
pretty easy to emulate.
and then like you can't like The Wii U eShop's closed, so you can't do shit with it now.
Oh yeah, that too.
I might emulate with Wii U just so I can play the Xenoblade Chronicles X.
There's still games on there that they haven't ported over yet. Even the Zelda, I'm still playing Zelda Remaster.
Yeah. Xenoblade Chronicles X is another one I haven't. That's not ported to Switch. And you could argue like, well, I have a Wii U, I can buy it on Wii U. The problem is, you remember when that game came out, you had to do a huge install so the game could run properly on the Wii U. If not, the load times took forever. And now that the eShop's closed, I can't download I can't download those installs. So my only option is to emulate it so I can have the game run properly.
That game is dog shit, man.
I still want to play it, man. I like Xenoblade. Like, I still want to play it. It's the only Xenoblade game that runs at 60 FPS. So
it's good. It's good for a while until you hit a certain point, and it's like, fuck this. Yeah.
Well, I'll figure that out when I play it.
All right.
But
well,
yeah.
that's going to do it, guys. You can go to Gameoverse.com, Gameoverse.com/Twitch, Gameoverse.com/YouTube, Gameoverse.com/Kick, Gameoverse.com/Discord, and hop in the Discord and jump in there and talk to us and play games with us and hang out with us and chill with us and smoke with us and drink with us and get turned with us and get lifted with us and get depressed with us and then do anything you want with us and no one else, because we do it and we do it.
Yeah, we do it better than everybody.
And everybody.
We do it all night long.
Uncle Dolph be in there having fun. Yeah. So yeah, just do it. Yeah, I'm probably gonna check out some video games. Fuck, there was something I was actually gonna check out and I don't remember what it was. But stay tuned. Stay tuned for video games.
Yeah, everybody, stay cool, be excellent to each other, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace out.